passes. They've been going like hotcakes, Chris. And 11:30 will be that time. I think we've all chosen a number, so we'll just figure out who's going to choose that lucky number when the time approaches. If you are listening, checking us out on the Sacktown Sports app, going to want to switch over around 11:15. A little bit of a delay to get your opportunity to win those Fright Fest passes if you want to be scared out of your mind. And speaking of scary, Chris, what Shohei is able to do on the baseball field is otherworldly. And I did see something, and I posted this, and some people are getting on me, Chris, because Shohei, there is a scene, there are two clips, okay? Right before Shohei struck out, right before he hit the home run, he struck out. He strikes out, and he looks towards the bench, pretty confused. The next at-bat, Shohei hits a home run, and he points to the bench. And some people are thinking that Shohei possibly, or the Dodgers possibly, had something on the Mets. Now, typically when somebody is tipping pitches, that's a specific person.
Right.
Shohei struck out to one pitcher and then hit the home run off another. So that's not normally how it works when somebody is tipping pitches. But I'll tell you this much, Chris.
You're saying some trash cans might be being
well,
made.
no. I'll tell you this much. I've struck out a lot. I've never looked towards the dugout.
Okay.
I've not hit a ton of home runs, but when I did, I also didn't shout out the dugout,
right?
Unless they let me know what was coming. Now, as a baseball guy, as long as my whole thing with the Astros was the technology, I would be on second base, and if they're throwing down once, I'm looking, and if he's throwing down one sign, I'm shuffling back and forth with my feet. If it's a fastball, I'm crossing over. If it's all speed to let my teammate know. Now, one time a pitcher caught me, and we had to have some words, but it's all good. And I say all this to say,
part of the game.
It's all part of the game, because I could know a majority of the world could know what pitch was coming, and they're not hitting it as far. Shohei hit it halfway up the second deck. Okay,
he knew it the whole time.
He knew it.
It was right down the line.
He knew what was coming too. So we are so close to Yankees-Dodgers, an uncivil war. This is what baseball needs. We have the WNBA Finals going on. Sabrina Ionescu, right, another Bay Area great, doing her thing with the game winner. So we're going to get to that audio in a second. Devontae Adams explains himself, okay? We asked the question, are fans just jealous of the 49ers? More Doug McDermott reactions, including what Kevin Huerter has to say. And, of course, we are going to get to, at 10:30, okay, in about 30 minutes, Will Z Stats. Everybody who's been on this train with me, a path to get Bobby Portis. That doesn't mean you'll like it. That means that there's a path. But first, let's get to this audio. Here is Shohei doing Shohei things, hitting a ball that possibly hasn't landed yet. Here it is.
His last 19 typo numbers. There's a towering drive down the line. Otani's broken through. It is gone. A majestic home run into the second deck. 7-0 LA.
Just a towering shot right there, Chris. A towering shot. And that wasn't the only crazy play we saw from yesterday. Here's Sabrina Ionescu. Here is her game winner as a New York Liberty trying to close things out now that they've taken the 2-1 lead. Here it is.
They still have their reset. Into Phoebish. 8 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter of game 3. 4 seconds. Ionescu will heave and hit! And hit! Sabrina Ionescu with the biggest shot in Liberty history.
Great stuff right there. Man. Oh, I know. It's you could definitely tell, and we had the conversation last week, but it just helps the whole thing, because even if you miss it, if you're driving your car now, you missed it, you feel like you missed something. You feel like you missed the biggest shot in New York Liberty history. Let's start there, Chris, because I know you are really our WNBA guy as it pertains to really the whole station. You told me you were watching this by yourself at the cribbo, and you just didn't know what to do with yourself.
It was crazy, man. Like sometimes, my girlfriend's a bartender, so she's working late at night, and sometimes I'll just be in the house by myself, and sometimes, man, like it gets crazy, like it's watching that game. The Liberty kind of pulled a reverse Lynx on them. The Lynx, the first game, came back from 15-17 down to win it at the buzzer, and then in overtime. And then in game 3, pretty much the same thing happens on the inverse. Like Liberty down 15, come back. You get big shots from Jonquel Jones. You get a big shot from Sabrina, and then you get that shot from Sabrina too. It was incredible. I mean, just to see that moment, really, I mean, it sent chills down my spine. That's exactly like I had the thought of just that's why you watch sports. I mean, the game itself was incredible. It was back and forth down the stretch. Again, the Liberty were down for pretty much the entire game. Don't get the lead back until about a minute left. I just want the series to go 5 games. It's really great having no horse in the race, not really feeling any sort of, one side's the villain, one side's the hero. It's just been really great basketball, and I'm just wishing that we get as much of it as possible because these two teams are perfectly synced with each other. And I mean, it's just been incredible. And what a moment for Sabrina Ionescu. Like she really struggled that game. She had 7 points heading into like the last minute and then hit 2 threes. It was just incredible. And I do wonder to kind of spin it maybe towards something that locals would be interested in. If she wins a title this year, I do wonder how soon it would be that she would maybe think about going to the Valkyrie. Like she is the Bay Area native. I think it could be a nice little feather in her cap to be, the franchise leader and to kind of, usher in a new era of basketball.
Steph.
Loves kicking it with Steph. Her and Steph have been super close. I think she went to high school in Walnut Creek, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Steph obviously lives in Walnut Creek. So they have a really, really close connection. I think it's a really huge moment for her, obviously a huge moment for the WNBA, but I do think that's really that is a superstar kind of moment. She didn't have the best game, but hits that shot and then after gives a post-game interview with Holly Rowe that is going to be played in Nike commercials for the rest of the year.
Yeah. And you know what? And I've said this before, as a lot of people talk about how much they like fall. Okay. It smells like fall in here, which I don't mind. I will allow. It does smell nice in here. I'm a big cinnamon guy. I love cinnamon apples and all of that. Don't get me wrong. As much as I'm a summer dude, my birthday's in the spring. I love summer. I love the sun. As much as I love all of that, I will say that this time, as far as sports is concerned, is unmatched.
Yeah. Because
you have what you just laid out with the WNBA. You have Major League Baseball with Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers doing their thing. The Dodgers, I mean, what a great business model. We're just going to put together a lineup that it doesn't matter if 4 of our starting pitchers go down because you have to put up 5 runs a game. We are going to put up at least 5 runs a game. That's the type of offense that we have. So you have all of that going on. NFL is rocking and rolling. We got Niners Chiefs. That's coming up. Right now I'm seeing somebody ask the question, who would you rather have in this game, Brock Purdy or Patrick Mahomes? And what's crazy is it's a legitimate question right now. So we're going to get to all of that, why people hate on Brock Purdy, but in a different way, because we know we've talked about how everybody talks about the Brock Purdy hate as well. So you have all of that going on. The NHL is back. Seasons or new shows are coming back. I just finished Tell Me Lies on Hulu last night. It's great, Chris. I will say everything besides the weather.
The weather's great right now.
No.
The weather's fantastic
okay,
right now.
but it's on the fringe right now. It's about
perfect.
to get. It's about you can feel like it rained a couple days ago.
About it when it gets cold.
But it rained a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Okay, and now you guys didn't want to tell me because you knew it would affect how I feel. But it did rain. I found out. It was wet outside. But besides that, it's all good. Nate, you have something to say?
How is that our fault?
No, I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's your fault.
I think you literally
I'm saying you omitted that it was raining.
I just didn't say it barely rained. It sprinkled for a second.
We're supposed to inform you that it is
I went
raining.
outside, I touched the ground. I said, it rained here.
Touch grass.
I'm not because it's wet.
This guy's crazy.
I'm just saying.
I just
saying.
95% chance it's already raining. Come on.
right now.
No.
It better
That
not
was a
be.
Mean Girls
It better.
reference.
Oh, there you go. Well, I love that. You know what? I also love the path to Bobby Portis, but I don't love, Chris, how things ended with Davante Adams. And when we return, we will get Davante Adams and his explanation of what went wrong in Las Vegas. And, as we get to our top stories at the top of the hour, that's at 1:00. Pat McAfee had his most watched show in the history of the show. That was with Aaron Rodgers when Davante Adams went and crashed it. I haven't called him Devontae Adams. That's really
a good one.
I wish I made it up. I didn't.
That's a really good one.
I could see. I'm a Boy Scout. I could have ran with that. And I haven't really hated on Davante Adams, but it's to the point, Chris, now that you see him in the Jets facility looking all happy, he's just he's starting to annoy me more than he did when he was even sitting out. Because now all of a sudden his hamstring is good.
Yeah.
It's all good. All right. We will get to Davante Adams when we return. Stiles and Watkins, we got a great one for you, and you don't want to miss 10:30 like we talked about. There is actually a path to get one Bobby Portis. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
O'Reilly! Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts in West Sacramento and Town Center Plaza next to Nugget Markets now through October 29th for the Customer Appreciation Day sale. You'll get 2 times O rewards points on select purchases. Plus, pick up 5 quarts of any Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil and receive a $10 gift card after rebate. And buy one, get one free Coca-Cola products at your Town Center Plaza, O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Advanced Infusion Center, where we prioritize your comfort and well-being. Whether you're managing a chronic condition or seeking specialized IV therapy, our state-of-the-art center offers tailored solutions to meet your needs. Advanced Infusion Center's dedicated healthcare professionals are here to ensure your safety and provide personalized care. Conveniently located in Sacramento and Yuba City with flexible scheduling options. Experience a new standard in infusion therapy. Visit Advanced Infusion Center today at advancedinfusion.com.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
$11:30. Six Flags Discovery Kingdom Fright Fest. This fall, Fright Fest is back because when the sun goes down, the scare factor turns up. Unleash your scream with Fright Fest only at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. At 11:30, we will give away those tickets. A little bit later in the show, and I'm pretty sure that my wife isn't listening, but I'm going to need a little bit of help. And I can't necessarily explain all of it, but I need help. I told Chris about this. I told Nate about this. What do you do when you've ruined a surprise and you're trying to repackage the surprise? Do you just eat it? Do you attempt to repackage? What do you do? We're going to do that in the last hour of the show. We're going to have some fun with that, but we have plenty of sports to get to before we get there, starting with a messed up situation.
Can I just also put out here, just for everybody's sake, there's supposed to be this big earthquake drill that happens in about 2 minutes as well. I guess like all across California, there's going to be like a people's phones are going to light up at 10:17.
I have an update about this.
Okay. Is it like should I like is my information no longer correct type of update?
Us three are not leaving.
Okay.
Us three are staying here. I had to call our boss. And we are not leaving the building.
Okay.
It's not a real earthquake.
It is. Yes, that's also
technically
such a big reach. We should. Yes. Yeah.
How insane.
Definitely.
If a real earthquake hit during it. And we just have to
we would all
pretend.
be very prepared.
The stop, drop, and roll. No, that's fire.
No, that's fire. Yeah.
Well, I got a big
I think
table
they
here.
tell you to get under tables, but I've never really understood
stuff
that.
falling off the
It's
roof,
stuff
protecting
falling from
you.
the roof, but
it's
in there. You'd have so much stuff falling on you.
I remember being in school. I'm under this little desk. It's
especially like those school desks that are.
I hear a shaking. I'm just gonna get to bacon. I'm just gonna run out the.
Yeah, and the ground's gonna be quaking.
Right, but it's ground gonna be, and then if it splits open,
you should be a speaker at schools. You go up on the stage. You go, students. If you hear shaking, get to bacon.
Because the Earth's gonna be quaking.
The Earth is quaking.
I think I
for what it's
do
worth,
that.
it says it's going to be a 60-second test. So that should be coming
It's gonna happen
in about 30 seconds or so.
Hey, Sacramento Elementary,
So
I'm the
we
hit
should
doctor.
we should wait on the Devontae Adams audio.
I don't know. I mean, people are in their cars. Like you're not gonna get out of your car.
I think
and
it's
get
just
under
a
your
work
car. I
thing.
think you're fine.
Is it gonna play?
I think our phones might go off, which if you hear them in the background, we pre-apologize.
We're 5 seconds from it, so we'll see.
We'll see if it's
like an
I feel
Amber
like
it's Y2K.
I know.
Like this is Y2K.
Well, now it's 10:17,
17.
so we'll see. We'll see if anything happens.
Check 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, are these things still on?
We are 16 seconds ahead of everybody else.
Oh,
we are in
okay.
the future. So
Does everybody hear us?
Crazy up here. Well, yeah, I think we can get to the Devontae Adams stuff. I just thought in general, I really thought that phones were going to just start screaming out of nowhere. So I thought it would have been important, but now I'm kind of regretting that
I
decision.
do hear some yelling in the hallway. Did they send a text? Is there something going out? So this is a real.
It's a real deal.
It's a real big,
It's a real
big
deal.
thing.
And
here.
look, with earthquakes, there come ripple effects, and we're dealing with the ripple effects of Devontae Adams.
There you go.
Leaving the Las Vegas Raiders. Here's Devontae Adams as he explains why he was so very frustrated with the black and silver. Here it is.
Great question. It's a great question. I've actually had this talk with some of the guys, coach and Tom Telesco, same thing. And I said, sometimes if you don't properly, or let me choose my words carefully here. I just think the usage sometimes and the way you go about things and the idea of how you're trying to get the ball to certain people, if it's not working, typically, a lot of the success me and Aaron had is because we were on the same page. And, him and I, whether it was the signal he gave and we changed the play, or knowing when the ball's going to come out, or understanding that just because they're trying to double team, it doesn't mean you're covered. You can always, beat a safety with the ball. Just because they want to line up and put the safety, and try to play cover too. We don't just shut it down and move on. Sometimes you got to find a way to still make the play work. Because if we're looking for single coverage, in order for me to make a play, then I won't be able to make very many plays over the course of a year, just based off the way I've been played by a lot of these defenses. So I think some of it is get me to a place where, I'm obviously got a lot of familiarity with this offense and with the quarterback, and he understands how I see the game and how I see, the ball thrown and all those things. And, sometimes it can make it easier because the reality is you're looking at the third downs and, looking at the red zone numbers and percentages and all that stuff. A lot of times that stuff goes out the window when I'm on the field, just based off of, their want to take me away. And you're not just going to get these super vanilla looks on 3rd and 3. So sometimes it can make it easier for you to call plays and to execute on 3rd down if you don't have exotic shells and a bunch of weird stuff to look at.
What's interesting, Chris, as you're looking at the Devontae Adams stats from his time with the Raiders that year, and you look, I don't know, we could do the same thing we did with Steve Wilkes. It's not as if Rich Bisaccia got a head coaching job. What is he? I think he's special teams right now. He's not even a defensive coordinator.
Special teams for the Packers.
Right.
Yeah.
So still a special teams coordinator. They decide not to go at Rich Bisaccia. They lose 26-19 to the Bengals. But that season, Chris, where they went to the wild card, Devontae Adams, second most touchdowns of his career, okay, and the second most amount of yards in his career. So there was a time where things were working to some degree, and then things went completely left. And of course, during that time, you had Derek Carr. They were trying to survive, and then after that, that's where things just went incredibly left. But there was a time with Devontae Adams where he was getting that usage and he was getting the ball. So as much as I want to be upset with him, I can't really be that upset with him because we don't even know Derek Carr is a completely different conversation, but it's still a drop-off to go to Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. And if you look at, his stats from that year in 2022, and then you see that drop-off, 14 touchdowns in 2022, 8 touchdowns in 2023, 1,500 yards in 2022, and 1,100 yards in 2023. And then obviously this year it gets even worse. He was a Pro Bowler for whatever it's worth in 2022, and his streak ended. He was a Pro Bowler for 6 years straight, and 2023 ended that streak. I want to be annoyed with him, Chris, when I see him cheesing on the Pat McAfee show. But if you have a trash quarterback, no disrespect whatsoever, I'm just not really sure what you want a wide receiver to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what he says too. He's like, I would like to be, if we're not going to have a good quarterback, I would like at least for me or the quarterback to be empowered to make adjustments at the line. Like, trust me to be great is kind of what I got out of it, is that he felt like, I'm sure that there was a really deep chemistry with him and Derek Carr. And I think he really liked Devontae being a star receiver. And I think he kind of felt like he's a different kind of guy. He kind of talks about how he and Aaron Rodgers would kind of just have looks and would know how to adjust routes and essentially do hot routes to try and manipulate defenses when the play called wasn't the right route. And I think that's kind of also what he was looking for. He was looking for some sort of power within the offense. He said, look, if I'm going to have bad quarterbacks, at least allow me to kind of individually try and figure out how to get open, because I don't trust y'all. I do not trust y'all to get me open. And I think a big part of it is that he just wanted to have some power as a receiver and feel like he's wanted and valued, not just as like a physical runner, but also clearly he thinks he sees the game differently too. So he wanted some investment into his mind as well.
You're sitting over there, like we talk about, the Isaiah Thomases of the world and guys like that. You're throwing jump balls to Trey Tucker. What do we? Trey Tucker goes 5'9".
I was gonna say.
What do we actually? What are we actually talking about? I mean, that just can't happen. I will say this, Chris, as he starts his time in New York, that usage that he talks about, we remember the Packers almost to a fault. Not almost to a fault.
It was dumb.
To a fault. Aaron Rodgers only threw to Devontae Adams. So I am curious if from the out, he's not our problem anymore. From the outside looking in, how that Garrett Wilson Devontae Adams relationship, or that triangle, right? That relationship triangle goes, or love triangle, if you will, because Garrett Wilson has been that guy. So Aaron Rodgers is going to have to figure out a way to keep his two receivers happy. And obviously Devontae Adams, hey, I just uplifted my life and my family to come out here to New York. You better get me that football, when Aaron Rodgers has more of a rapport with Garrett Wilson right now. But again, not our problem. Hope it works out for you. If not, hey, tough cookies. Coming up next, this is what I'm talking about right here. This is what I'm talking about. Bobby Portis. There is a path. We don't know if you will like it, but as people continue to ask about Bobby Portis, people mostly being myself, and we see it on the text line time and time again, Will Z Stats of Sports Illustrated gives us a path to get him. Will the Bucks be into it? Who knows? Will we be into it? Let's find out. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The Beam Team plays here.
How many times I seen that beam lit up when I was chilling at home? What's the significance of pushing this button? Like I said, when it solves off.
We live and breathe Sacramento Kings basketball.
Live and local with the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys.
This is your home for the Sacramento Kings. Sacktown Sports 1140.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunk Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on two wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
When I realized I was going to have to sign up for my own health insurance plan, I was ready to freak. But then I found Health Markets. Health Markets lays out a list of plans available to you. It's straightforward and so easy. And if you need help, they have licensed insurance agents you can speak with. Just dial pound 250 and say Health Markets. That's it. Pound 250 and say Health Markets.
Discover the advantages of real, personalized service today with Health Markets. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide, except in Massachusetts. Paid actor per trail.
Model year end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Despite having no experience, Gavin Newsom made Jessica Morse his, quote, wildfire specialist. The result? Under Newsom and Morse, insurance rates and utility bills skyrocketed. Millions of dollars were slashed from the state's fire prevention budget, and they were even caught lying about their record, while millions of acres burned and families lost their homes. Now Gavin has chosen Jessica Morse again, this time to run for Congress. We have a better choice. Kevin Kiley. As our congressman, Kevin Kiley has worked across party lines to secure millions for wildfire protection and expand water supplies. And Kevin Kiley's bill to protect Lake Tahoe will bring up to $415 million home to our district to reduce the threat of fires and restore the ecosystem of the lake, delivering results and making a difference. Let's keep Kevin Kiley working for us.
I'm Kevin Kiley. I approve this message. Paid for by Kevin Kiley for Congress.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote. That's theaeway.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
Live and local.
Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
$10:30, and you know what that means. Now, gonna lay this out for you, and then it goes to whether or not you do it, whether or not the Kings would do it, whether or not the Bucks would do it. We are talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Bobby Portis, somebody that a lot of teams, based on the contract, how nice that contract looks, somebody that a lot of teams, a lot of fans have been clamoring for. And we have a proposed path from one Will Z Stats on how this could get done. Let's get right on into it. Will Z Stats talks about the Kings trading Jalen McDaniels to the San Antonio Spurs, emptying a roster spot and freeing up about $4.7 million in cap space. To be fair, this was written before the Dougie McBuckets deal. We believe that nothing should change. I confirmed with Brendan Nunez and Frankie Cardicelli. Based on what Will is talking about, this still should be possible. Will goes on to write, the Kings have the ability to use their mid-level exception, and one of the new ways they can use it with the new CBA is via trade. That new rule makes bringing in a player of Bobby Portis' contract status more feasible than in the past. Portis is set to make around $12.5 million this season with a player option of $13.4 million next year. That is 12.5. That fits like a glove in the Kings' $12.8 million MLE. The Kings could send, this is where it gets sticky. Hang with me. The Kings could send Devin Carter, the 13th overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft, to make the money work and draft picks as needed to make the deal worth it for the Bucks. It would be a huge gamble, as Sacramento will lose a young, promising player in Carter and lose flexibility around the luxury cap. But Portis is the exact type of player the Kings have been searching for years. He works hard, defends well, rebounds, and does all the small things to impact winning. Much like Keon Ellis, it's the perfect archetype of player to add to the Kings stars. It's unlikely, and I would be shocked if it actually happened, but for one last time this offseason, I'm allowing myself to dream big. If the Kings were to make a move for Portis, it would be the perfect win-now move to shake the franchise. Your thoughts, Chris Watkins?
Yeah, I'm not as big of a Bobby Portis guy as I think a lot of people are out there. I think he's a really solid player for sure. You look at all of his efficiency numbers, he hits all the things you want him to hit. I think I just more kind of I think he's a really solid player. He's obviously been a 6 Man of the Year candidate before in the past as well. Obviously a champion with the Bucks. I don't really see exactly what the hope is for him here in Sacramento if he were to come. I think you would then still have to move somebody to the Kings bench. And if you're trading Devin Carter, that kind of does hurt a lot of the Kings' future. They then don't have their most recent first-round draft pick will have been Keegan Murray, who is an older rookie to start with too. So if you're thinking about maybe the future of this thing, I think it's a good all-in move if you want to do that. It's just a little bit risky for the future. And I'm looking at Bobby Portis' contract. He also has a player option for $13 million. Kind of feel like he can make more than that in the open market. So it's only a 1-year rental is my big problem with it.
Yeah, he's definitely opting out of that. As far as I don't necessarily know that he has to be a starter on this team. I think he could come off the bench. I mean, I like the starting five. I think we run into the same problem that it seems like a theme with this Kings team. It's these guys that you want to make the team better, but they're almost too good for what the Kings would have them do. It's basically, I call it the Valanciunas problem, because a lot of people wanted Valanciunas, and that was a guy who, okay, we're not really going to play DeMontis at the 4, so you got to bring Valanciunas off the bench, and he's not a bench player. Bobby Portis has been a bench player, but he's been a bench player on a championship team. You can make the argument, well, if Bobby Portis comes to this team, then they would be a championship team. So he could come off the bench there as well. I think that is the argument. Making $12 million, that is an easily understood bench player salary. I do think he's for sure going to opt out. He's for sure opting out. But so you're losing Devin Carter, and you're hoping that Bobby re-ups, and he's going to re-up at a higher price point. So that luxury tax and the aprons, what does it do to that?
Yeah.
So it's tough. And even from what Will Z Stats said in the initial write-up, that's not just Devin Carter. That's probably more than that. Right. So you're giving up Devin Carter. I don't think it would be a first, but if you're giving up Devin Carter, that's essentially the first. So you're giving up Devin Carter, maybe a second, maybe even a Colby Jones, somebody like that, to get Bobby Portis for essentially an all-in move. As much as I love Bobby Portis, it's hard for me to logistically say that this makes sense from the Kings standpoint. That's why it's been so hard to cook up deals for Bobby Portis, because even if you do, from the long-term standpoint, I think you're right, Chris. If this is even a 2-year deal, I think I would play around with it more. But the player option, to me, Bobby Portis might be one of the most underpaid players in the league right now.
Yeah, and it's also the other side of why would Milwaukee do that as well? Like Milwaukee, maybe if they were, like the Bulls or something like that, and they aren't playing for anything, but the Bucks especially, I mean, they fired their new coach halfway through last year, bring in Doc Rivers. Overall, it's just a disappointing season last year. I mean, the only reason I think Milwaukee would do this is if they just feel like the wheels fall off in the middle of the season again, and this is more of a trade deadline move for them, just because, again, what's the Bucks' purpose of essentially selling out the season? I mean, if you don't have Bobby Portis, who has been a 13 to 14 point per game scorer these past 3 years for them, they're not going to be nearly as successful. So that's just really the part of it, especially for Milwaukee, that doesn't make sense. And I'm looking at his Basketball Reference. One of his nicknames, the Mayor of Milwaukee. That kind of makes me feel like they're not going to be quick to move off from him, and it would take a Godfather offer essentially for relatively a Godfather offer in order for them to move off of Bobby Portis. I don't think it's going to be, hey, yeah, no, that's a good piece. That makes sense for us. I think you're going to have to blow their socks off in order for them to move on from a guy like Bobby Portis.
From the 530, Devin Carter for Crazy Eyes, pull the trigger. We have plenty of guards. We know what we're getting with Crazy Eyes, and it's exactly what we need. Plus, we're in win now mode. It's a gamble, but worth it. That is from Gino. I mean, again, Gino, to me, I would probably be more so on your side if it was 2 years. That player option, Bobby Portis, as Chris likes to say, we just got word that this player, Zach LaVine, opted in. We just got a Sean bomb that Bobby Portis has opted out of his player option because he might be looking, if he's not looking to be a starter, he's definitely looking to, at the very least, be a bench player.
He's going to be 30 years old entering free agency too. So I think he's going to look for, like, that's his last opportunity to get a bag, maybe his last opportunity to find a starting spot too.
Yeah. And look, maybe he's okay to again, it really goes back to how the team is viewed, because you could sit there and say Bobby might want to continue being a six man, but again, that's a six man on a team that has essentially been one of the favorites. Adding Bobby Portis to this roster, do you think that would make do you think that would make the Kings a favorite?
I don't think so. No, no, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I'm just looking here, Chris, as to making some of the money work. Yeah, you got Kevin Huerter for $16.8 million. Some people are calling Dougie McBuckets a Kevin Huerter replacement. We can talk about that a little bit later. I don't think that's necessarily the case. So yeah, a lot of different ways to look at this. Trey Lyles at $8 million, but again, got to make sense for Milwaukee, and Milwaukee knows it's one of those tough situations where you're getting a good deal. Okay, if you're the Kings, so Milwaukee's going to want to sell that. But then the Kings have to come back and say, yeah, we know we're getting a good deal, and we know that Bobby Portis is going to opt out. And then at the end of the day, the Bucks can say, we don't have to do the deal. We're still in win now. This is only the second year. We didn't even get a fair shake at the playoffs because Dame and Giannis were injured. So we really don't want to move him unless you're going to overpay. So I think that's where this thing ultimately gets to. If we're talking 2 years, 3 years, I'd have the conversation, but an opt out after one. As much as I just said yesterday, Devin Carter better be good, I'm not willing to give up Devin Carter for only one guaranteed year of Bobby Portis. I'm higher on Bobby Portis than you, Chris, but even still, it's that 1 year, it's the opt out that worries me.
Yeah, and I mean, with Devin Carter too, you're also giving up his first contract's 4 years, I think maybe 5, and then you get an extent. Like you're missing out on potentially 9 years of team control over Devin Carter for a single season of Bobby Portis. That doesn't really make sense. And then I know a lot of people are not feeling great because Devin Carter is not going to play for a large portion of this season, but even still, you're like a ankle tweak away from having Mason Jones as your backup point guard. And I kind of feel like I like the security, even though it's not going to be there for a lot of the season. I like the thought of having Devin Carter be the team's future of backup point guard. And you still have Jordan McLaughlin there, who's more than capable of serving time until he's ready to go. And once Devin Carter is ready to go, I think him and Jordan McLaughlin are going to be a great backup point guard duo.
Coming up next, we ask the question, are fans just jealous of the 49ers? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Hey, I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all four arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
O'Reilly! Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts in West Sacramento and Town Center Plaza next to Nugget Markets now through October 29th for the Customer Appreciation Day sale. You'll get 2 times O rewards points on select purchases. Plus, pick up 5 quarts of any Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil and receive a $10 gift card after rebate. And buy one, get one free Coca-Cola products at your Town Center Plaza, O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For 76 years, the Keys family from Naturewood Home Furnishings has been serving families just like yours and mine. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings, most of which are made right here in this country. The kitchen table, which we purchased so many years ago, speaks to the enduring quality of the Naturewood product lines. We treasure memories made seated around that table with family and friends for birthday celebrations, school projects, and, well, many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 76th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes here for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now that fall is here, now is the perfect time to head to Stockton and check out a new Mercedes-Benz. I had the opportunity just last week to drive an all-new S-Class 550, and let me tell you, it was a sweet ride. The moment I hopped in, I felt like I was in a world of luxury. From the steering wheel to the seat cooling and even the power of the engine, I was impressed. And then, of course, when I hopped into my Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, I felt the same thing. So hurry in and take advantage of the Mercedes-Benz incentive bonuses up to $15,000. And they have tons of pre-owned vehicles as well, including C-Class sedans, GLC SUVs, and a whole lot more. Take it from me, you won't be disappointed. So take the short drive down I-5 to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online at mbofstockton.com.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Guys, by the way, 11:30, Fright Fest giveaway, turkey legs, pretzels, churros, and spooky things. I did read Baby Sal's Spooky Pookie last night, and I thought of you the whole time, Chris.
Spooky Pookie, the
pig.
The pig. That's
right.
Spooky Pookie the pig.
That's right. And it can be scary when someone is jealous of you, jealous of what you have. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Nick Jonas. And I'm sitting here, guys, yesterday, and I was just on social media, and someone just posted simply, no connection, just out of the blue. Did the Niners really find a bleeping franchise quarterback with the last pick in the draft? And it got me thinking about how the Niners receive hate about Brock Purdy, how Brock Purdy handles the hate. And it just made me feel like maybe Brock Purdy gets his hate because other fans are jealous. And a lot of these analysts, they're fans too. Even if you have a franchise QB, this isn't how things are supposed to happen. When you miss, you're supposed to end up like the Panthers. When you miss, you're supposed to end up in a bad situation, at least for a couple years.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen with the Niners. Let's go over what the Niners have done from an outside perspective. Not a Niner fan who all I know is heartbreak. All I know is this. You're a Raider fan who's looking at, you got to defend. You got to wake up, Chris, and defend Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. That's your path.
Yikes.
Okay? Let's look at what the Niners have done in the last decade or so. 3 Super Bowl appearances, 7 NFC championship games. They have a down year. It's bad enough they have the down year and they mess around and they get a Nick Bosa. Then they have another down year. They mess around and they trade up to get one of the quarterbacks that are going to be really good. Because at this point, 2021 was going to be one of the best years of quarterback play. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, the names go on and on. The Niners find a way to trade up. They take a swing on the stud from North Dakota, and they swing and completely miss, completely whiff like Shohei did when he didn't know what was coming. And after that happens, the Niners say, okay, bet. We're just going to draft another QB with the last pick in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, and we're going to go back to an NFC championship game, and he's going to be with him as our third stringer. He's going to hurt his UCL, come back, and go to a Super Bowl. Even though they didn't win it, you got to play the last game of the season in the Super Bowl. So how much of some of this hate is just from other fan bases saying, this is garbage. They can't keep getting away with this. You whiff on a QB and tell them what they won, Johnny. A top 7, top 5 possible quarterback in the league. It really just doesn't normally happen like this. And I think, like I said, some of these analysts, they're also fans of teams, whether they say it like Nick Wright, who's a fan of the Chiefs, or not. And they're just thinking, yeah, this is garbage. How do they keep pulling this off? I just saw a random tweet yesterday. Maybe think, I don't really think I've talked about the jealousy enough. If you're a Raider fan and you mess around and the Niners get to have the success and the fun that they've had, your cousin who's a Niner fan, and now they get the last pick in the draft, it's a throwaway pick, and it's Brock bleeping Purdy, this has got to stop. This has got to stop.
I definitely think it's for sure part of it. I mean, absolutely. I mean, like you said, I think a large part of it, I think, is the fact that they swing and miss on Trey Lance. And then, like you said, you just kind of stumble into this guy. And I think that's the frustration of it, is it hasn't felt like the Niners really missed a single stride with, frankly, a decision that should absolutely cripple your franchise for 5 to 10 years. I mean, that's really something that, I mean, think about how long there's so many teams out there that try year after year after year to draft these quarterbacks, and look how many of them end up working out. And the fact that the Niners just kind of stumble into Brock Purdy, and he is truly a good quarter. And I think that adds to it too. It's not that he's just, oh yeah, isn't this a fun story where, he ends up being a replacement level quarterback, but isn't it crazy that Mr. Irrelevant is even playable at an NFL level? And not only is he playable, he's leading his team to a Super Bowl in his second full season of starting. I think that it's definitely a huge part of it is that people feel like the Niners skipped a step and that it isn't fair. It's not fair that their teams suffer year after year after year. And it's kind of like the Packers in a way where the Packers go straight from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love now. People feel like the Niners need to have some thin years, and it's what happens when your team is incredibly successful for a really long period of time. I mean, yeah, the Niners have had some down years, but for the most part, I mean, since the 80s, it's really just been incredibly smooth sailing. It's not even like the Cowboys. Like the Cowboys were great when they were great, and when they're not good, they really haven't been to the level of an elite team. They don't really live up to that billing, and the Niners live up to it. And I think it's just I think, in a way we don't really talk about it, but the Niners are kind of like the Boston Celtics. They just have won a ton, and they're always seemingly finding their way into it. And I think you're either a fan or you're sick and tired of seeing the team that's always up there staying up there.
Nate, does it feel like as a Niner fan, when you hear your non-Niner fan friends, if you have any,
I have a bunch,
talk about Brock Purdy, do you get a hint of jealousy?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, sure. A hint of jealousy. A lot of weird arguments too being made. A lot of I've had to stop defending myself and just I really don't like arguing with people about sports. On air, it's different. Like day to day, it feels completely like pointless a lot when it's me talking about the Niners because I just not to brag, but I definitely feel like I know more about the Niners than a lot of people. 98% of the population maybe. And it just it gets annoying. Maybe there's jealousy in there. But then I just go, yeah, well, we haven't done it. So 7 NFC games, title games, been to 7, won 3 of them, lost 4. 2 of them were crud for sure. The Kyle Williams knee, that one was absolutely heartbreaking. Brock Purdy elbow, that one was just like, oh,
what do you do with that?
That's all right. I'm just sick to my like, okay, just numb by the third quarter, like accepted that the season's over. Jealousy though is a weird thing. I don't feel jealousy from like Raiders fans because I definitely am friends with Raiders fans. Raiders fans are like a different animal too. That's usually the most crap you're gonna get from someone as a Raiders fan.
Yeah,
for the most part. But there's maybe a hint of jealousy in there, but I don't want to come off as like arrogant.
Just throughout the league, and guys have, and you could make the same argument, Chris. I guess the difference is that they didn't stink again, but you have I don't know if he's as good as Brock Purdy or not. Depends on who you ask. You have the Josh Rosen situation, right? The Cardinals, they took Josh Rosen pretty high. They stunk, and then they get Kyler Murray. I think the difference is the Niners didn't necessarily stink the same way. And, you look around the league and you get a guy and you think he's going to be your savior. I mean, the Patriots, they get mac and cheese and that didn't work out, right? The Broncos have not necessarily gotten somebody as high as Bo Nix, but just a lot of these guys, I mean, the Tua question marks, a lot of these teams have taken swings and it just hasn't worked out. And I think just specifically the last pick in the draft, because there's 4th rounders that guys will take flyers on. The teams will take flyers on, decent teams. So you have some decent weapons and it hasn't worked out. The last pick in the draft to look like this is just insane.
I think honestly, a big part of it too, as I'm thinking about it, I truly think the largest portion is probably how Brock ended up playing too. Like, it's not like he beat out the competition or anything like that. And unless you were very, very locked into Niners preseason, like I don't think anybody had Brock even on their radar. I think it's the fact that, you go through two quarterbacks get hurt and then this guy just steps in and he performs well. I just think that there was so much natural skepticism because he didn't earn it. People felt like he didn't earn it. He felt like it was again, circumstantial and it fell into his lap and
keys to the Ferrari.
It's exactly. It's the narrative that continued to follow is that he's not even really that good. It's just, look, I mean, they had Jimmy G in that situation and he ended up fine. And There was another. Brock wasn't the second quarterback, was he?
He was third. It was Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. That's
Jimmy
right.
G.
That's right. That's right. That's how down bad things are. I was like, I swear there was another injury that led to Brock
it was the
going
foot.
in.
It was when he was a running back.
Right. Yeah. I think a lot of that is playing.
That's a
into
good
it, is
point.
that it felt like he stumbled into it.
Like
and
the Niners didn't even know.
No, they didn't even know.
Yeah.
Exactly. If he's so good, why didn't the people that were in the building with him every day? Why did they knew Jimmy was bad? If they knew he was better than Jimmy, why didn't they put him in day one? We can have answers to it, but I think from outsiders, people who are living in Kansas City, people who are living in Minnesota, people who are living in Green Bay, Wisconsin, they don't think about that kind of stuff. They just say, wow, how lucky are these guys?
Yeah.
How lucky is it that every team out there has to deal with mediocrity, and these guys, somehow their third quarterback ended up being their best one.
I know. Got up against it here, but I want to ask you guys just really, really quick, just be totally honest. I'm not trying to be mean, nothing like that. This conversation is brought up. Do you guys have any jealousy for the 49ers with your franchise as a Vikings fan and as a Raiders fan?
No, because the Raiders are just so far gone.
Okay.
I think I'd have.
It's just not fun for you to watch.
Yeah,
right?
I think I'd have, because the Raiders, they keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Sure.
So I don't have I'd have jealousy if I were a team if I were the Jets or a team that had a top pick and that top pick didn't work out.
Yeah.
The Raiders have just been in purgatory. So me personally, no.
Chris?
Yeah. I mean, the Vikings haven't been able to draft a quarterback in my lifetime, really. Sam Darnold, Christian Ponder, Teddy Bridgewater ended up going down.
Right?
No, that was the Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that.
Disaster.
Yeah, I mean, it's more just the fact that these guys didn't get to go through the struggle of what everybody else goes through, and that really, really does frustrate me. Is that and it's the same thing with the Packers. It's the reason why I had the Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre to Jordan Love example ready to go. There's certain teams out there that just, you could call it skill, you can call it an ability, you can call it luck, but they just have the wherewithal to end up not going through these thin years with quarterback, and that's the most important position in sports.
Kevin Herter tells a story about Doug McDermott coming up next. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined as always by my co-anchor Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down at T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel, chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2, at T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. Y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them.
Now drop that jingle.
The 24-month bill credits eligible trade-in on Go 5G Next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits and credits stop and balance on required finance agreement too. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda.
Shop Big O Tires now through November 3rd and fall into savings with up to $120 instant savings on 4 select in-stock tires with installation purchase. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation required. Disposal fees extra. Not valid with other offers. See Big O dealer for details.
Hey, October's already heating up on the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. Enjoy family fun at Dave's Pumpkin Patch in West Sacramento all month long. Pick your perfect pumpkin, navigate the corn maze, jump on a massive jumping pillow, and create unforgettable memories for the kids. On October 20th, don't miss Renee Vaca at the Crest Theater for a night of laughs and entertainment. And mark your calendar for Sinners and Saints, the region's best Halloween party on October 26th at the venue at Thunder Valley, complete with a $5,000 costume contest. It's the most spooktacular event of the season. Looking ahead into November, join us for Legends of Motown at the venue at Thunder Valley November 23rd, bringing you the classic hits that defined a generation. And you're not going to want to miss the Jersey Boys Midtown Men Holiday Show December 8th, also at the venue at Thunder Valley. It's going to be a night filled with festive cheer and old school classics. And stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for all your live event updates and your chance to win tickets. The next election is November 5th. Vote centers open October 26th. Remember to vote early and avoid the lines. Learn more at elections.sackcounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by Malik.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports. Let's get into a little bit of Kevin Huerter. As yesterday, as we know, Doug McDermott signed with the Sacramento Kings.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, that's right. Thank you, Nate. Thank you. I was like, I know we got it ready to go. Doug McDermott comes to the Sacramento Kings, and we know that he obviously spent some time with Domantas Sabonis with his time in Indiana. We've got some numbers on that in just a minute. But yesterday, I made reference to when the news broke that I had heard a big reason why I wasn't too surprised that Doug McDermott ended up being the name that the Kings ended up pursuing was that I had heard a clip of Kevin Huerter when he was interviewed by Zach Lowe about a year ago on Zach Lowe's former ESPN podcast, The Low Post, in which he was talking about really, I mean, Zach is asking Kevin about what made him excited for Sacramento. Kevin obviously traded to Sacramento. What he had heard coming into the situation. And he tells this story about talking to his agent about something that a different client of his agent told him about playing with Domantas Sabonis. Here's Kevin Huerter again explaining the story of him talking to his agent and what he'll like most about his journey in Sacramento.
How quickly do you discover that you and Domas have this special dribble handoff connection, left wing flying around, handoffs, pick and rolls? Like, how quickly does that come?
It was easy. It was honestly super easy. Me and Doug, same agent. And so I think my first conversation I had with my agent sitting in Ibiza, asking him like, how is this, tell me about the organization. How is this about to go down? And like the first thing he said was, Doug absolutely loved playing with Domas. Like, you're going to love it. Domas got him so many shots. He's unselfish. He's going to get you open. Like, I'm telling you, you're going to love playing with this guy. You've never played with a guy of this caliber or the way his play style ever before in your life. You're going to love it. And so it's kind of like right away, I think I got to Sac. I did my physicals and I was there for media. And then I pretty much started working out right away. And Domas was playing over in the world. He was playing one of the World Cups, the Euro basketball. So he came really mid-September, and it was like right away an open gym. I think Domas asked to be on my team. He's like, hey, let me get Kevin right away. It was just like flying off screens and him getting me open. And so that kind of carried over into the regular season. He draws so much attention. Yeah.
I'd have to assume on everyone's scouting report, he's got to be the first guy listed just because his physicality, he demands double teams. And so every team is so geared up to stop him and obviously stop De'Aaron that, like most games, I'm getting wide open shots just from sprinting off of screens and continuously trying to move. And so it's been great for me, obviously, in my career to be playing with a guy like him.
So there you go. I think first and foremost, I think that's just a great story that Kevin tells there about the first time playing with Domas. I think it's awesome that Sabonis recognized how important that dribble handoff game was going to be almost instantly and said, let's not waste time here. And we saw Sabonis actually, funny enough, do the same thing with DeMar DeRozan this summer. He knows how important that dribble handoff can be for getting his shooters open. And I think it's really a great story of how Domas is very adamant about getting those guys comfortable in his dribble handoff game. You hear Kevin there mention that his agent, Mark Bartelstein, is also the agent of Doug McDermott as well, and tells him that Doug said that you're going to have the most fun time playing with Domantas Sabonis. And Doug is speaking straight from experience. In his 3 years in Indiana with Domantas Sabonis, he averaged 9.8 points per game, 40.5% from three in those 3 seasons. And if you look at Sabonis's numbers specifically when it comes to assists to Doug McDermott, those really, really stand out. As Doug McDermott, for the 3 seasons Sabonis was with Doug McDermott, Doug was the person Sabonis had most of his assists go to on the team. In 2018-19, he had 55 assists to Doug McDermott. To Tyreek Evans was the second most assisted player from Domantas Sabonis with 24. The next season, Doug had 74 assisted buckets from Sabonis. TJ Warren was second with 68. And then in 2020-2021, which was Doug McDermott's best season with Indiana, he had 110 baskets assisted from Domantas Sabonis. Next closest was Malcolm Brogdon. So I think it's really clear that two-man game with Doug McDermott and Domantas Sabonis, I know we were promised it last year with Chris Duarte and Domas. This is a much more actualized version of it. The Sabonis Duarte thing was just Duarte's rookie season, and it was Duarte had his best rookie season, or had his best season in his career, his rookie season. And so people were trying to figure out, okay, what are the parallels there? This is very, very legitimate. This shows that just those two, specifically the game that they kind of play off of each other, definitely is incredibly complimentary. And I think it's going to be a big addition to this Kings team, even if it's not going to be, hey, Sabonis assists the most to Doug McDermott. I just think it's, again, another weapon that you can go to, and potentially in a bench lineup where maybe you have Sabonis out there with McDermott and Keon Ellis and Jordan McLaughlin and maybe just some non-scorers. Maybe you can keep some offense going with some guys that might fly under the radar on a lot of guys' scouting reports. And last but not least, I just thought it would be cool / important to get some of the national reaction from the Doug McDermott signing. As you know, it's not a very big. It's a week left in the preseason, and most teams are already through camp. And I thought it was definitely noteworthy that I saw Keith Smith of Spotrac put out there. Doug McDermott's a nice addition for the Kings. You can never have enough shooting, and shooting with size is even better. Nice pickup, very end of the offseason. Our friend of the show, Law Murray, put out 3-pointer numbers comparing Jalen McDaniels to Doug McDermott. Jalen McDaniels last year, Allen, 12 of 71, 16.9%. Doug McDermott last season, 94 of 229, 41%. So just the difference in a shot creator, shot maker that they get, absolutely huge. And then last but not least, Nikias Duncan, who is just an X's and O's master, says, how the heck is Doug even still available at this point? I think it really just points to where this Sacramento team is going. And hopefully Doug can be a big addition to these guys.
Yeah, and I find it interesting that a lot of people, I guess it's not really that surprising because that's what fans do. They're going to pit players against each other. With all that being said about Kevin Huerter and Doug McDermott and the similarities there, you're not going for any of the Kevin Huerter better watch out, Doug McDermott, he might be coming for that spot, or maybe this makes Kevin Huerter more available for another deal. Are you buying any of that, or is that a little bit too much too soon?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. I just feel like, Doug's a really good addition. Is he going to be good enough to straight up replace Kevin Huerter?
Well, I guess
don't know,
whatever
yeah.
Kevin Huerter's new role would then be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting for sure. I mean, they both do similar things. They're both very high level shooters, 100%. Doug, like we've pointed out, his numbers have been 40% from three pretty much for his entire career. That's what I think the Kings are hoping for Kevin Huerter. He was not that last year, obviously. And so, yeah, I mean, if he's going to continue to struggle, it opens up the conversation, because we talked about it a ton last year with Kevin Huerter. How many times was it, okay, you're not hitting threes. What are you really bringing to us? And I think if that's going to be the case, maybe you are a little bit more willing to move on from him, because you feel like, hey, Doug McDermott's not necessarily the quality of player of Kevin Huerter, but if we were only having Kevin Huerter shoot threes, we can have Doug McDermott do that. Maybe, again, not necessarily as versatile, but if it is just as simple as we need a shooter, he can definitely be that caliber of a shooter.
Yeah.
It's just if you feel like, hey, maybe we feel like, hey, Kevin gives us a little bit of versatility with a 2 and a 3. I just don't think that 1 + 1 = 2 in this situation. Yeah. But if Kevin does end up getting moved, it is good that you'll have Doug McDermott in the building.
Well, I think it becomes this. Can Doug McDermott be what Kevin Huerter was Beam Team season? No. The question is, can Kevin Huerter be what Kevin Huerter was Beam Team season? Yeah. And if it's somewhere in between, the other side of that is, could Doug McDermott be what Kevin Huerter was last season?
Yeah.
I think that's more probable.
Yeah.
Or I think that's more possible. We're hoping that Kevin Huerter, who had a down season, basically Doug McDermott could be a lesser version of Kevin Huerter. We're hoping that Kevin Huerter is at a level that we don't believe Doug McDermott can get to.
Yeah.
But if Kevin Huerter can't get back to that level himself, then it's, well, we might as well just see what we can get for you if you're not going to be able to get back to that level.
Yeah.
So if you're Kevin Huerter waking up, I think it is a little bit of a kick in the pants to say, okay, I'm not worried, but if I do mess around and not show what I can bring to this team while they are struggling shooting the basketball, so my services are obviously needed, then anything can happen. Then you become a specialist, and there are specialists all around the league. So I think it's good, because iron sharpens iron, and I think everybody should have somebody that they're looking back to say, okay, somebody is on my heels if I don't take care of business. So I think it's good for Kevin Huerter. Ultimately, it's good for the team, because you need guys, as it goes to the conversation that JaVale McGee had. We're sitting there against the Spurs, who we barely beat, and everybody's happy.
Right.
Maybe, and I'm not singling out Kevin Huerter specifically, but if it's, okay, well, I didn't play well, and Doug McDermott, he could get some more time, maybe you're not as happy that you got that W, because there has to be somebody to push you.
Sure.
If there's nobody to push you,
iron sharpens iron,
then it just doesn't feel the same. When we return, Mike Brown is still on the Sabonis 3 train. I know the text fingers are going to get hot for this one. Mike Brown talks about Sabonis shooting threes again. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
The Sacramento State Hornets are back at home this Saturday. Come check out the high-flying Hornets as they host the Weber State Wildcats. It's homecoming, so come check out some great football and stay for the post-game fireworks. That's Saturday, October 19th, as the Hornets take on Weber State, Hornet Stadium, 6 o'clock. Tickets on sale now at hornetsports.com. And remember, Stingers up.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
The 530 says the three-point contest broke Kevin Herter. What do you think affects players more? Their swings in the home run derby or their shot in the three-point contest?
Probably their swings in
I
the
think so.
derby. Yeah. There's not many people I can think of that the three-point contest ruined.
Because at least the three-point
It's more
contest is
natural.
more of a, you're just practicing shooting.
Yeah.
There's no, you take batting practice, you are not supposed to just try to hit home runs.
No, that's not natural. And you can also imagine, like, even on your body, it's like the amount of torque
When you're
that
tired, you
putting.
stop.
Yeah, exactly. And shooting, it's just it's a little unnatural, but yeah, it's only because you have to reach over.
15 minutes until we give away those Six Flags Discovery Kingdom passes for Fright Fest. 2 more days to win those tickets. So if you are listening on the app, it's probably about that time to switch over to AM if you are able, or fire up the old YouTube and hang out with the Sack Chat. Sack Chat's always a good time. You can talk to Nate in there, who is always a chatty Cathy in there in the Sack Chat, as Mike Brown has been chatty about Domas Sabonis taking at least 3 threes a game. I'm still confused, Chris, if this is what fans wanted. I think we wanted the midi. I don't know if we wanted more threes, but you're going to take this and you're going to like it. Here is Mike Brown, and he is on Sirius NBA. Is he on with our homeboy from the argument?
No.
Okay, all right. With Sam Mitchell?
No, Sam Mitchell.
Oh, my goodness. He was going to give away Mike Brown's address as
Yeah.
well. All right. Here is Mike Brown talking about Sabonis taking 3 threes a game.
He is, the focal point of what we try to do, especially on the offense end of the floor. He brings his hard hit every night. He never misses games, so he's as reliable as they come. And one of the things that we want him to do, we want him to let that thing fly from the three-point line a little bit more this year. I think he averaged about 1 a game last year. We hope that will increase to around 3 a game, if not a little bit more. Because we feel that he's a really, really good shooter, and if he can knock down a shot or two from beyond the arc, it's going to make his guy come out a little bit further at times, which will open up driving lanes for us to continue to do what we try to do at a high level, which is to touch that paint and spray the basketball, or to touch that paint and finish.
Hey, it makes sense. Does it feel a little forced, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, I wonder how much of it is that they really feel like he's a great three-point shooter, and how much of it might be just the math side of it. Like we've talked before about how Mike Brown spoke on how Monty was very adamant about them crashing the offensive glass more, and how Mike Brown was a little bit hesitant to just kind of fully accept it. And once he kind of heard the layout, the rollout, the numbers, and the reason behind why Monty felt that way, he kind of changed his tune. I do wonder how much of this maybe is a similar thing where, Monty again comes from the Houston Rockets of, hey, no, it's only layups or threes, and mid-range isn't ideal. And it's not that, hey, we're going to take no mid-range jumpers, but we are already taking enough mid-range jumpers with DeMar DeRozan.
That's a good
and
point.
De'Aaron Fox. We don't need more inefficiency in terms of points per possession. Sabonis, if you're going to be taking a jump shot, it needs to be a 3.
Good point.
That could really be as simple as that, because I don't think he's shown necessarily that he's somebody who needs to be a 3-point per game scorer, a 3 a game scorer. I think he's really been somebody who's perfect where he is. Like, I don't really think that it should be more than, hey, if he's open, he takes one. If he makes it, he'll probably take a second. If he doesn't, he's not really going to search for that second 3. Not saying he's not going to take it, but he's just not really going to search for it unless he's wide open. And even then, even if he takes that second one, he's very, very unlikely to take a third, even if he is wide open. That's just the weird part to me is getting to the 3 a game. It's not, hey, we want him on some nights to feel the freedom to take 3 to 5. He is saying he wants him to average 3 a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a really big bump from where Sabonis was at last year, which I believe was just at 1. It was at, let's see here, Sabonis was at 1.1 threes a game last year.
Well, maybe, yeah, it's a matter of varying up the looks. I think where you've kind of gone with this is, hey, once you get a DeMar DeRozan, you're not really banking as much on Sabonis's scoring the way you were in the past. So he's going to get his looks organically. If he needs to take a three, he can take a three. Yeah. I'll tell you this much. When he came over to the Kings, and, we've discussed this, when he came over to the Kings from the Pacers, in my mind, he was a guy who could take threes. Then when I got out here and watched him on the Kings, I thought he took more threes than that. So
he took 2.3 threes per game the season that he got traded from Indiana to Sacramento. In Indiana, he took 2.3. He came to Sacramento. He has not taken more than 1.1.
Right. So, it seems like that's not a huge deal, but it is a bit of a difference. What was his percentage? Do you have that?
He shot 32% that one season. He's never, when he takes over 3 a game or over 2 a game, he has not shot over 32%. First season in the league, he took 2 a game, 32.1. Let's see here. His all-star season, his second all-star season in 2020, 2021, he shot 32.1% again on 2.6. Shot 31% on 2 the next season, then shot 2.3 that half season in Indiana and shot it at 32.4%.
Obviously, it's a different scale, right? If you're looking at a shooting guard shooting 32% from 3, that's trash. But maybe as a big, I would say that's pretty close to at least being a threat. At least, all right, if he gets hot, we'll have to respect it. Or is it to the point, Chris, like you said, where it's, look, if it's 1, if it's 2, if it's 3, is it really going to change the mindset of the defender? Right?
I don't think so. If he's shooting 33% and he's taking 3 a game, he's only making one of them. Like, I'm very unconcerned, and I'm going to bet that tonight might not be the night that you end up making one. Like, I'm just going to let him fly. To me, last year at that 1.1 attempt per game, he was at 37%. I think that's great. I just don't think you need to scale it up to the level of 3. I think, why not do baby steps? Hey, he was at 1 a game. Let's go to 2, and let's see if that percentage falls significantly, because again, throughout his career, every time he hits that 2 number, it just drops really, really far. And I know in his career so far, these past 2 seasons have been his best percentage-wise from the perimeter, but I don't necessarily know if I've seen anything that's changed. I know he worked with Lethal Shooter, the Instagram famous shooting coach.
Did he put spikes around the basket?
He might as well have. Who knows? They showed some things, and it looked like it was legitimate. And I know Lethal Shooter does work with a couple NBA players, but besides that, I don't really know what would make you believe that there has been some turning of the corner when it comes to Sabonis and his threes. 37% on 1 attempt is great. I just feel like we don't need to ramp it all the way up to 3. And this is now the second time Mike Brown has said, he said it last week, we played the audio as well, that he wants Sabonis up at 3 to 5 a game. So again, this is definitely something that is actively happening, and we've seen him take a couple threes here throughout the preseason so far, and it's definitely been noteworthy for me. I think he's only hit 1 of them so far, but he's taking more threes this preseason so far.
We'll see what happens tonight, but this weekend, Chiefs, Niners. How big is this game for both teams? Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports, and the giveaway when we return.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat. Bring out all the flavors of the upcoming holidays with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. Napoleon grills that features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last, complete with a lifetime warranty. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just because it's October does not mean we can't barbecue outside. Visit California Backyard now for your best selection of grills and Napoleon Grills accessories.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. Where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Fran! Cisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Maida Chevy saves you $12,750 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LT in stock after rebates. All of them. Silverado blowout on now at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. Ends 10/31/24.
O'Reilly. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts in West Sacramento and Town Center Plaza next to Nugget Markets now through October 29th for the Customer Appreciation Day sale. You'll get 2 times O rewards points on select purchases. Plus, pick up 5 quarts of any Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil and receive a $10 gift card after rebate. And buy one, get one free Coca-Cola products at your Town Center Plaza, O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For 76 years, the Keys family from Naturewood Home Furnishings has been serving families just like yours and mine. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings, most of which are made right here in this country. The kitchen table, which we purchased so many years ago, speaks to the enduring quality of the Naturewood product lines. We treasure memories made seated around that table with family and friends for birthday celebrations, school projects, and many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 76th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
It's time. Chris, you can pick the number. Since you brought the pumpkins in here.
Okay.
Making it very fall, making it very spooky.
We need to get some cobwebs in here.
Yeah, well, I think there's some real ones.
I think there is. Actually, I know there is. It's not even a
We don't have that one. We're covered all year round.
Look at that fake spot. Oh no, it's not.
Yeah. Wow, that is a real live looking Black Widow there. Oh wait, it's real. That is real, and my arm is numb. Okay, this fall.
Oh?
Yeah.
It's the night.
Just do it.
Okay. Oh, just like him. You know that.
It's pretty good.
Okay. This fall, Fright Fest is back. Because when the sun goes down, the scare factor turns up. Unleash your screams with Fright Fest. Only at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. Looking for caller number.
Trying to think if I can make a noise of Michael Jackson noise with the number.
Yeah, that's
He
it.
did it
That's
for
it.
us. He did it for us. Thank you.
Looking for caller number 3. Caller number 3 to score our pair of passes to check out Fright Fest at Discovery Kingdom. Open now through November 3rd. For more information, visit SacktownSports.com. 916-339-1140.
Gotta give us your best Michael Jackson
1140.
impression.
Yeah, you got to give us our best Michael Jackson impression. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. Caller number 3, and I think I see. I was going to do it again. Getting in right now. Thank you, Alan. As we head to the gridiron, Kyle Shanahan taking on the Chiefs. And it's been tough for Kyle Shanahan, Chris. I mean, this is almost insane. This is from Josh Dubow. He says, 124 coaches have coached over 40 regular season games decided by 7 points or fewer in NFL history. 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan's 378 win percentage in those games ranks out of 124, Chris, 119.
Seems bad. Seems not great.
Yeah, the first comment is now do a ranking by how many total wins of 7 points or more and that winning percentage. And that is from 49ers and NFL News 24/7. So clearly 49er fan. But yeah, 124 coaches have coached over 40 regular season games decided by 7 points or fewer in NFL history. 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan, 378 win percentage. So basically 38% winning percentage in those games, ranks 119th. I don't know. Is this reaching or not?
Stretch. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I won't say it's a stretch, but I think it is interesting. Even the first comment that you read there, like, I mean, I assume that they're commenting that because they kind of know what the stat is going to be. And I mean, even without knowing the exact numbers of it, I mean, I would assume that Kyle Shanahan has blown out a lot of teams and probably more than typical.
Right.
Like, that's the interesting part about it. And I think that really is honestly a perfect Kyle Shanahan coaching stat, because it really does show the duality of the struggle, I guess, of having a guy like Kyle. It feels like when your team is right, you talk about it all the time, them being on schedule. When they're on schedule, when they get the 10-0 lead in the first quarter, they're pretty much impossible to beat, it feels like, and they end up extending that lead throughout the game to put up 30 points and usually win by 7 or 10,
right,
if not more. But in those close games, a lot of people will say, well, that's really where you make your money or your reputation as a coach. So what does it mean if you have this guy who's incredibly capable of putting together a game plan or building an offense or assembling a team that can absolutely blow out a majority of NFL rosters? But then when things get tight, things get close, I would even say he doesn't turn into a normal person. He actually kind of, by those numbers, he turns into a terrible coach. 119 of 124 in 7 or fewer point games. Like, that's a really
40 games is a pretty big sample size.
It is. I mean, that's at least 2 seasons and some change. Like, I don't know what to do with it. And I think it really, again, I think it's a perfect number or stat to give for Kyle Shanahan, because it is just really tough to figure out as a Niner fan or even from the outside. Like, what do you do with this guy who is clearly a top level coach, but has these warts that just continue to show up? And it's not even just actually it gets overblown. Kyle Shanahan has some big losses, but it's not that many. This number shows that there's big moments, but it also happens really, really frequently. It again just highlights to me the complexity of trying to figure out what the Niners should do with Kyle Shanahan if they don't ultimately achieve the Super Bowl goal.
You got to stick with them.
You have to. You have to.
And they're going to go to the playoffs, and we have some reasons your NFC North may not crumble, but not look as strong, right? With some of their strength of schedule. So they're going to go to the playoffs. It just depends on what happens once they get there. We need a Christian McCaffrey update. Emmanuel Acho of FS1, he says it doesn't matter how it looks. He says the Niners just need to get it done this weekend against the Chiefs. Here it is.
I've never cared less about anything in this life
but the W
than how that game looks.
Thank you.
Because the Chiefs
now you preaching
have beaten the Niners looking every way.
Every way.
The Chiefs scored 3 touchdowns in 2019. Same nucleus. They beat the Niners then. 2022 in Santa Clara, the Chiefs beat the brakes off the Niners. Super Bowl this past season, the Niners are winning in overtime by 3. Just keep the Chiefs from scoring. And the Niners won again. The Niners won a defensive fest in this last Super Bowl. The Niners put up 3 touchdowns in the first Chiefs won a defensive fest in the last Super Bowl. Chiefs put up 3 touchdowns in the first Super Bowl, and Chiefs beat the brakes off the Niners in the middle of the 2. I don't care how it looks. If the Chiefs beat the Niners again, and y'all know it's bang, bang through and through for your boy. I do Niners radio just because I like the Niners that much. I work overtime for the Niners. If the Chiefs beat the Niners again, how can I come on television and actually say, oh, the Niners got a shot? That would be lying to you, and lying to me. The Niners have to win. If you lose close, if you lose ugly, if you lose pretty, you still lose.
That's how that works.
Lose. Manuel Acho, the Niners, and specifically Kyle Shanahan, 0-4 against these Patrick Mahomes Chiefs. And look, it's giving me flashbacks, or I guess parallels, Chris, to Kings Pelicans in a different way. Obviously, the Kings didn't lose to the Pelicans in the Western Conference Finals or anything like that. But I almost wonder, if you're the Chiefs, you're due for a loss, right? So the Chiefs have no pressure. They don't have half of their wide receiver core. They don't have their starting running back. I don't even know. If you're the Chiefs, would you rather, it might sound crazy to say, would you rather just get the loss out now and have the Niners? You can go back and say, if you're the Niners, hey, we finally beat the Chiefs, and the Chiefs to say, yeah, you lost to us 4 times. You lost to us in 2 Super Bowls. And, oh, you finally got us when we're down Rashee Rice, Isaiah Pacheco, Hollywood Brown. I know they've been undefeated, but all undefeateds aren't created equal. You know that, Chris, from what your Vikings did a couple seasons ago. So I almost feel like if you're the Chiefs, you're kind of in a win-win situation. And if you're the Niners, you're a bit in a lose-lose situation. At least you can hang your hat and say, we finally beat the Chiefs, but we beat a Chiefs team that we probably won't be seeing in the Super Bowl if we even get back there. You'll take the win if you're the Niners, but the Chiefs are going to walk away from this game not feeling bad either way. And you know the pressure of going undefeated. I'm not saying Andy Reid wants to lose, but hey, if we got to we're so far ahead of the rest of the AFC besides the Texans. We're so far ahead. If the Niners finally get us and they get and we get more tape on them to say this is how they beat us while we were down. This guy. You don't want to lose, but the Niners don't gain anything. I don't think. Maybe just mentally, but then people that are going to hate on the Niners are going to say, okay, well, who did they have? Y'all finally beat them. You faced them the most besides their divisional opponents the last 5 years.
And there's no stakes in this game.
No
either.
stakes.
It's like, even if you do beat them, well, the narrative's still going to, you can't beat them in the Super Bowl, though. You can't beat them when it counts.
Right.
It is pretty much, it's a gotta win for the Niners. If they lose, then you really feel like, the Chiefs hang over your head and they got you. They own you at that point. And I think if you're the Niners, it's just the last team you'll ever want to see. And I definitely think, if the Chiefs can win with the down talent that they have,
Juju Smith-Schuster,
come on. That's really where they're going to feel like they are being dominated. And maybe it is a bit of an identity crisis. Maybe then the Niners start to feel like, okay, I know we lose to the Chiefs or we've lost to the Chiefs before. It shouldn't be a new feeling and they are undefeated, but I do wonder if that's maybe the straw that breaks the camel's back with this team. Not saying that they're going to completely crumble the rest of this year, but if we talk about them feeling like they get the benefit of the doubt, feeling like they still, like you said, Mangini said earlier today, the best, or whoever, Mariucci said that they're the best 3-3 team of all time or whatever. I think maybe some of that benefit of the doubt that this Niner team is going to be able to flip a switch, maybe that goes away depending on how this game ends up going. I kind of even think if the Chiefs win in a close one, it would still feel like that's going to be a hit to that locker room in the same way that maybe the Eagles were last year, right? The Eagles were undefeated. They go and play the Niners, and then after that, nothing was the same. Right. I do kind of wonder, maybe to a lesser level. Again, I still think the Niners are a playoff team, but if maybe losing to the Chiefs just really makes them feel their vulnerability, like, man, we got up for this game like it was a Super Bowl again, and we couldn't get it done. I wonder what the ramifications will be if they lose.
There's no way, and I know we're going to do our picks tomorrow. There is no way the Niners can lose this game. I'm picking the Niners just because there's just no way they can lose this game. You can't
they easily can. You can't lose 4 times before.
You can't lose to the Chiefs B team. Everybody else in the league, I would say there are 2 teams, and they weren't this version of the B team when they beat the Ravens. But I would say there are 3 teams: that cannot lose to this version of the Chiefs. The Ravens, one of those teams, but they already lost to the Chiefs, and they had Rashee Rice. But this new version without Rashee Rice, and they had Isaiah Pacheco. The Ravens, the Bills, and the Niners. Those are the three teams who their hopes and dreams have been crushed by one Patrick Mahomes.
They play all three of those teams this year.
Yeah. Well, they still have the Bills coming up.
Still have the Bills coming up.
And if you're the Bills, you cannot lose to this version of the Chiefs. Or I don't know that you'll ever beat the Chiefs. The Ravens, they already lost, but at least it was a really good game. They had Pacheco. They had Rice. The Niners, you cannot lose to this Chiefs team.
Do the Chiefs finally get respect if they win this week?
I'll stop. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll stop saying that they're fraudulent, undefeated. If they beat the Niners with Juju Smith-Schuster, I got to look at their depth chart, Chris. If they beat the Niners, and I saw even McCole Hardman is questionable. If they beat the Niners with this depth chart, then yeah, I will stop talking about the Chiefs kind of just skirting by. All right, because I'm looking here. You got Xavier Worthy. Their other starting receiver is Juju Smith-Schuster. Their other starting receiver is Justin Watson. They've been waiting for Sky Moore to make a catch for 4 years, Chris. All right, McCole Hardman, like I said, questionable, and you got Travis Kelce, of course, and Noah Gray from the tight end perspective. Kareem Hunt is your starting running back with Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Samaje Perine. So it can't happen. It cannot happen, Chris, and I don't think it will. But we will give our official picks tomorrow. Around the NFL, we go in about 2 minutes. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Jeff Lynn's ELO.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why.
Live in concert in Sacramento. The Over and Out Tour. Jeff Lynn's ELO. The final tour. All the hits. Live at Golden One Center, October 23rd. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
When is the best time to buy a new air conditioning system? Right now with Bell Brothers' end of summer clear-out sale. You'll get up to $2,700 off a top-of-the-line AC system. Plus, no payments or interest for 1 year for qualified buyers. Call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or go online to thenosurpriseguys.com because we only have a limited number of new top-of-the-line AC systems. And when they're gone, this offer is over. Need more info? Call us. Estimates and second opinions are always free. So call now for up to $2,700 off a new premium AC system. And no payments or interest for 1 year. Plus, if you call now, we'll throw in your choice of a free smart thermostat or indoor air purification system. But you have to call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com. Remember, end of summer is the best time to buy and save on a new AC system. Thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
There's no better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, offering the best deals in town and a selection other dealers are jealous of. Stop on by. They're just off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Congrats to our winner, Nate. We got a name.
Jaime from West Sac.
Jaime, West Sac. Stand up.
Yolo County.
Yolo County.
Which I did not know until recently.
Didn't know. Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. Jaime's on his way. Pair of passes. Taking someone very special. Congrats to you, Jaime. You have one more chance to win those tickets tomorrow. 916-339-1140. Talked about the Niners, and now it's time to talk about the rest of the NFL as we go around the NFL. Yeah. Around the NFL, let's start it here, Chris. A lot of people saying Justin Fields was done dirty by the Steelers because they have played pretty darn well. I think better than what I think I expected from the Steelers. A lot of people expected from the Steelers. Mike Tomlin was asked about Justin Fields and the decision to go back or go to Russell Wilson, who had won the job coming out of camp, but then was injured. And Justin Fields said, don't worry, I got it, and have put the Steelers into a pretty good position. But Mike Tomlin said, yeah, that's just not good enough. We want to see if we can be better. And here's Mike Tomlin.
Justin has been really good, and we've been really good at times, but not to be confused with great. Man, this is a competitive league, man. We're trying to position ourselves to beat that team. And we got a player with talent. We hadn't had an opportunity to play, so we're going to potentially explore those things. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what Justin has done or has not done. Justin has been an asset to us, man. Last week, for example, man, his ability to utilize his legs by design and by ad-lib was a significant component of that game. He rushed for 50-plus yards and 2 touchdowns in game. And so we're appreciative of that. We're appreciative of how he's taking care of the ball. But we're just looking at all the people at our disposal the same way that we do at any position. We acquired, Terrell Edmonds a number of weeks back, who we have a history with. And as soon as we got him up to speed and got comfortable, we started considering ways to utilize his talents. That's what you do in this thing. You better have your foot on the gas at all times. You better look to divide the labor up in the most appropriate way based on who's available to you and healthy. And that's just simply what we're going to do.
The Steelers are 4-2. I think to a lot of people's surprise, they are tied with the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC North, with the Bengals at 2-4 and the Browns at 1-5. They're cooked. And Chris, as we have some of Justin Fields' stats here, 5 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns, 1 interception. I know it hasn't been pretty. I know he's missing that touch. He's got 4 fumbles. That is a guy who will give up the football from a fumbling perspective, but they were winning games. Do you think it's the right move to see what they have with Russell Wilson, or did Justin Fields deserve, and that's another word I know a lot of people hate in sports, deserve to be given a chance to lose the position?
Yeah, it's a really tough one. I feel like he didn't quite lose the position, but I understand. I think it's good to have Justin Fields there. It almost would be better if they would have inversed this and I know because of injury they couldn't, but if it would have been better to run out Russell Wilson and essentially run him into the ground if that is going to happen, and then have Justin Fields ready to go in the wings. I think this could possibly lead to the most awkward outcome where Fields starts the season and then Russ is in the middle, and then Russ kind of eventually gets benched and they go back to Fields. I don't know if that's productive for really anybody in the situation. It just kind of feels like, I guess they went with Fields early. It feels like to me you should have essentially run him into the ground. I mean, run him until it feels like we cannot throw Justin Fields out there again. I guess this is also, the Steelers' big move from this offseason was bringing in Russell Wilson, you could understand how, even though they're not paying him like the Broncos were paying him, they want to see what they got, because, you know, the highest possible outcome for the Steelers probably involves Russell Wilson being their quarterback and potentially having a nice little rejuvenating season. I understand why it makes sense, but I just personally don't really believe in Russell Wilson like that.
Yeah, ultimately, it's not a matter of Justin Fields losing the position, but he didn't play well enough to say, hey, we can't go away from you, right? There's been situations where he's missed guys and they've lost some games. I mean, really, I know it sounds crazy because they're 4-2. They should have beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys are not very good, and they should have beat the Cowboys, and they didn't beat the Cowboys in part because Justin Fields missed some throws, right? I saw this, Chris, and this is maybe just people having some fun, or maybe there's a little bit of smoke to this fire. I saw not an official report, but basically people making the assumption that if the Steelers are deciding to go in this direction, maybe it's because some wide receivers and some skill position players have either talked to Tomlin on the low, or maybe there is a feeling in the locker room of, we could be better offensively if somebody could deliver us the football in a better manner.
Have they seen Russell Wilson?
Whether or not that's Russell Wilson, they're the ones practicing with him, though.
Right.
Right. So maybe at the very least, it's worth a look. Would we, either of us, have gone into the season with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson as the two options? No. But that's what the Steelers decided to do. So this is how they're going to move forward from there. Next, we have Adam Schefter. This is from yesterday, Chris. Saints wide receiver Rashid Shaheed, meniscus surgery Thursday. So that is happening today, or already happened. Expected to determine whether he will be sidelined multiple weeks or for the rest of the season. So for my guy, Spencer Rattler, it's going to be tough today, fellas, for Spencer Rattler to get rolling. That Broncos defense is pretty darn good, even though the offense not really been great, and we know that the Saints defense is always very stout. But yeah, you have a Spencer Rattler who is a young QB. You lose your deep threat in Rashid Shaheed. All you really got is Alvin Kamara. Obviously, they haven't had Michael Thomas. Chris Olave has been injured too, so it's going to be a bit tough to take away what Spencer Rattler has done if he doesn't have his full list of weapons. He didn't play poorly last weekend, but again, not enough for anybody to say, wow, this is going to be a dude. But none of the rookies did their first game. So really looking at Drake May this weekend, looking at Spencer Rattler, but he'll have to do it without one of Derek Carr's favorite toys to play with as well. Mekhi Becton, Chris, who played for the Jets and now plays for the Eagles as they get ready to kind of do battle there. Mekhi Becton says, I don't want to play in that bleepy stadium. Imagine poopy, but not poopy. Everything is just bad about that stadium. He goes on to say, we was like the little brothers to them on their side, talking about the Giants. They had all their trophies and Super Bowls, and on our side, we were the New York Jets. I feel like we don't talk about that stadium sharing enough. We talk about the Clippers a lot, obviously, when it was A's Raiders, which was a little bit different. We talked about that a lot. I know they go in and they get Aaron Rodgers, and people thought that the Jets would have a much better season than the Giants, but I don't know if we talk. I know you do, Chris, but I think there are a lot of proud Jets fans, but there's definitely a little brother thing going on there as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they haven't won in so long. I think it was Joe Namath was the last time they won the Super Bowl. I mean, they've definitely been little brothered through the Eli Manning years and all that. And, you know, they're supposed to be, funny enough, they're supposed to be the biggest show in town. And, yeah, for whatever reason, the Giants, who kind of just always find ways to scrap around. I mean, they haven't really been super successful these past, 5 to 8 years or so, or 10 years maybe even going back. But, yeah, definitely the Jets have always been their little brother, and it feels like, this is the first time in a long time in which it's felt like the Jets clearly are the better team in New York, and even now they're not really performing like it. So it's got to be one of the stranger dynamics in sports. It's the Giants-Jets rivalry.
Mekhi Becton going back to that stadium as an Eagle as they face the Giants. So maybe, just maybe, he'll have a little bit more venom as the Eagles look to get a divisional win. Coming up next, ESPN reveals their top 100, their top 10 and the top 100. Who's too high? Who's too low? Stiles and Watkins, Sacramento Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Snatched De'Aaron Fox for game-scoring honors.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank and member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
O'Reilly. It's Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get up to a $25 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select Superstart batteries. We'll test your old battery for free and recommend the right battery for your vehicle. For power, performance, and reliability, choose Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting their focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all four arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
O'Reilly.
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts in West Sacramento and Town Center Plaza next to Nugget Markets now through October 29th for the Customer Appreciation Day sale. You'll get 2 times O rewards points on select purchases. Plus, pick up 5 quarts of any Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil and receive a $10 gift card after rebate. And buy one, get one free Coca-Cola products at your Town Center Plaza, O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. is Sacktown Sports.
2 hours down, 2 to go. Drive Guys up next. Then you ready for a pretty good Thursday? Day before Friday. Some of you are going to get paid. Some of you aren't, but you'll get paid next Friday. You have Kings preseason. Kings get to check out what's going on in LA against the Clippers. Also have NFL tonight. Broncos taking on the Saints. Look, Nate, all pizza is good pizza.
Oh, man.
How intrigued are you to watch tonight? I got to watch my boy Spencer Rattler. I just don't think it's going to be a very good game.
I usually check in no matter what. I've been doing a lot of listening on the Sacktown Sports app to Thursday Night Football if I'm like going on a bike ride or something, or watch it in the gym, which is nice as a secondary kind of form of information. Definitely not super locked in on a game like this. But I wanted to ask you, so we got Kings tonight. It's not really in the rundown or anything. Maybe it'll come up, but they go 0-5. Does that create any sort of fear for you?
It's not good.
No,
right?
it's not good.
We know Kawhi isn't playing. Got to see what's up. Look, even if James Harden is playing, I don't think it really matters. Yes, last game, it was tough because they clearly were trying to win. It's a little bit you'd be 0-5, but in reality, who knows if they win either of those games against the Warriors, because they were winning those games with the starters. They weren't playing the starters at the same clip. But yeah, the Blazers game was awful. Okay. That Jazz game was actually them trying to get a W, and they couldn't.
Yeah.
So do with that what you want. We'll see how the timing and the rotations go tonight. So it's not really a 0-5 if they lose, in my opinion. It's more like a 0-3, which still isn't great.
Yeah.
Just depends how it looks to me.
Oh, I was just saying, I listen on the Sacktown Sports app. Tonight, we won't have Thursday Night Football. We will have, right after the Drive Guys, the Kings. 6 with that weird 7:30 tip-off for those LA games.
That's right. Plenty of sports going on. Like we said, Kings tonight preseason, they look to at least just play well against the Clippers. I think they did play pretty well against Jazz. Can you get some stops, for goodness sake? Then you have NFL going on. Can't do split screen tonight because it's on Prime, which I can't stand, because I'd love to do split screen as the Major League Baseball playoffs roll on.
I have to pull the laptop out.
Oh, I'm gonna have to. I got 4 laptops.
That's kind of better though.
One's got Miss Rachel on it for baby Stiles. One has the baseball games. Then you got the TV with Prime. So yeah, because today Broncos Saints, to me, that's not TV worthy. I think you're on my laptop today.
Yeah, and
I think baseball is on my TV today.
We're so King centric. You have to.
Well, yeah. Then I forgot the Kings.
That's work. I mean, that's
what I need. I need the other laptop.
I mean, it's different for you, right? Yeah, but I think I'm gonna prioritize NFL tonight.
And not to mention, you have Yankees Guardians going on. So there's just a ton. Yankees Guardians is at 2:08 today. Then Dodgers Mets. Dodgers can take a 3-1 lead. That's at 5:08. So the baseball at least will be. I can watch the Yankees before the Kings start.
Chris, are you worried where does your worry level go, or do you have any at all if the Kings go 0-5 tonight in the preseason?
I'm worried that I think I heard that you said Drapes and Whitey have a full show today.
Yeah, those poor guys.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's the most concerning thing of all.
Yeah. I just checked the log when I said I had to make sure that was the case. And,
I know those poor guys, man.
Hearts go out to Drapes.
Think about them today. No, I have no concern if they go 0-5. I really don't think it matters much at all. I'm a little bit interested to see, how much guys play today. But yeah, I mean, if they're going to be in full action, if we're going to see them play as much as they did in Utah, then I do kind of expect a win. I mean, I think it's fair too. And, if they do lose and the starters play and everything like that, I think it's definitely a conversation that maybe we need to have, maybe about adjusting or if we want to adjust our expectations. But overall, I mean, I think it is pretty foolish to have preseason try and determine what you think they're going to do for the regular season. There's just so much differences that go on. And, I think the Clippers are going to be feeling a little down bad today as breaking news just kind of dropped a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, this news doesn't pertain to the Kings, of course. ESPN from Shams, who's been working his butt off ever since he signed that deal. Kawhi Leonard out indefinitely. Inflammation in the right knee. We're going to have a conversation one of these days about Kawhi Leonard. Today's not the day. And when I say we, it's the collective we in the basketball world. But Kawhi Leonard out indefinitely with knee inflammation. Crazy enough, Chris, they didn't have him play in the Olympics, I think almost to prevent this from happening, and it still happened. All right, but Kawhi still higher than a lot of the Kings on the top 100 list. Maybe it's the idea of Kawhi Leonard. And we finish off the top 100 list from ESPN with top 10. Chris has that for us. All right, Chris, just give it to us straight.
Okay, well, as we know, there's not going to be any Kings in the top 10, so we don't have to worry or stress about that. ESPN, for those who haven't listened these past couple days, we've been doing where the Kings fall in the top 100 list, and we have Keegan Murray at number 94, Malik Monk at number 65, DeMar DeRozan at number 45, Domantas Sabonis at number 29, and De'Aaron Fox fell at number 26. So a pretty big drop-off before there is a King. And they released the top 10 today. Anthony Edwards falls in at number 10, Kevin Durant at number 9, Joel Embiid at number 8. Number 7, one LeBron James still holding on. Number 6, Steph Curry. Number 5, Jason Tatum. Number 4, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Number 3, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Number 2, Luka Doncic. And number 1, Nikola Jokic. And again, this list is meant to be who will have a better 24-25 season.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a little bit of a projection as well. But I don't know about you, Alan, but there's not really many surprises or any major objections I have in this top 10.
Yeah, if anything, we were talking with Jason Ross about this during the crosstalk. And again, if it's based on projection, it is what it is. Yeah, Shai at 4 does seem a little presumptuous, a little bit, but we know a lot of people are high on SGA and what he's done for that OKC team, being a number 1 seed and a MVP finalist. It's guys that it's guys that are on their way or guys that are holding on to their prime. And I feel like even Giannis is starting to get in that category of holding on to his prime just because of how he plays. I'm curious if this will be the last season for the LeBron James, the Kevin Durant's, and the Steph Curry's to be in the top 10. I mean, Father Time is undefeated, but he's been getting his butt whooped by these 3 dudes. It's just a matter of when. And Joel Embiid, from a injury standpoint, Joel Embiid at that number 8, where is he next season? How does this season go for him? He's not playing back-to-backs, at least he proclaims. So no real surprises there. In general, Luka at number 2, I'm good with. And even Jokic, man. I mean, the way Jokic plays, I feel that when he got drafted, what was it, during the Taco Bell commercial and everything that he's brought to this league, I don't necessarily know how much longer Jokic is just going to be the undeniable number 1 just based on how he plays. I don't have a problem with him here, but I'm just not really high on the Nuggets and his usage and how long they can survive at that clip. So I guess to answer your question, Chris, this is the last year that I don't think I will have a problem with this top 10. I think it's pretty chalk, but I would be surprised if next year we're looking at the same top 10, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's always a fluid thing. And lists I'm sure Victor Wembanyama will almost guaranteed to be in this list next year. So I'm sure it's going to look a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if the Ringers top 100 looked a little different, as they also did a top 100 list. They have Jokic 1, Doncic 2. They have Giannis number 3, Shai 4, Joel Embiid 5, Jason Tatum 6, Steph Curry 7, Durant 8, Anthony Davis 9, LeBron James 10. I only bring that up because they did their own top 100 list. And as a matter of fact, they did a top 106 list, as they had 6 guys that they felt like were X factors that were left out of their top 100 list. For what it's worth, they had a little bit different numbers. They had Keegan at 98, where ESPN had Keegan at 94. They had Malik Monk. This is the biggest difference. The Ringer had Malik Monk at number 90. ESPN had Malik Monk at number 65. DeMar DeRozan, 49 in the Ringer. He was 45 in ESPN. Sabonis, 25 in Ringer, 29 in ESPN. De'Aaron Fox, 22 in Ringer, 26 in ESPN. I only bring up the extra 6 names because there's another Sacramento King involved in those 6, and that one is one Keon Ellis, as we know. The write-up here, 5 Kings placed in our top 100 list, the same number, and this is very noteworthy, the same number as the Celtics, Thunder, and Knicks. The Kings are the only team to have 5 or more players listed. Sacramento isn't in the inner circle of title contenders like those other squads. But what do all 5 of those top 100 players have in common? They're all offensive first contributors who range from average to terrible on the defensive end. The Kings will surely entertain viewers this season, but if they want to compete for a top 6 spot in the West, they need to defend too. That's where Keon Ellis comes in, the Ringer writes. Both the eye test and advanced stats adore Ellis's defense. He fits in Sacramento's starting lineup because unlike Fox and Sabonis, this is a great number here, ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't need the ball. His 12% usage rate last season was 3rd lowest amongst 120 guards with at least 900 minutes. He can also hit the open 3 if needed. He sank 42% of his long-distance attempts last season. His performance as a starter in Sacramento's 2 play-in games last season offers evidence of both his ceiling and his floor. Scored 15 points and was a plus 27 as the Kings beat the Warriors, and then went scoreless and was a minus 20 as the Kings lost to the New Orleans Pelicans in the second play-in game. So there you go. Keon Ellis didn't make the 100 list, but he made the 106, the 6 X factors that didn't make the top 100.
Yeah, and that I'm more than good with that. People are starting to see what Keon Ellis can do. We've gone back and forth, Chris, about his usage and will he need to do more on the offensive end. We'll see how that all unfolds, but Keon Ellis being on this list. And look, I'm going to go back to my buddy who said, look at your starting 5 and look at the guys that you have on your team. How in the world are you guys just talking about, and not just you guys, I think a lot of Kings fans do think that the Kings could be a 4 seed or something like that, but the rest of the NBA saying maybe these guys will stay out of the play-in. I mean, that's a crazy list, Chris. The Celtics, the Thunder, and the Knicks. Those are 3 teams, one with the Thunder, first year in the playoffs, but they were a 1 seed. You have the defending NBA champions in the Celtics, and you have the Knicks, who had probably the craziest offseason, and they had a really deep playoff run as well. So it's not purple lenses. The Kings, we can not even think about whatever's going on with the preseason, but you put together a roster like this, and we know there's some question marks with the 4 position and the bench, but you put together a roster like this, I don't even want to talk about a play-in. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, it shouldn't be. I mean, we're talking, I'm talking 50 plus wins. I don't think play-in should even be in this team's conversation. They definitely should have much higher, and especially after last year. I mean, all the talk is that they want to stay out of that thing more than anything else.
On the other side, we go to Brock Purdy's brilliance, his brilliance against the blitz, his air yards, and a area where the Niners normally excel, not so much this season. What does Andy Reid think about one Brock Purdy? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles the man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Lowe's knows it's easier to make the right calls when you have the right team. That's why our Lowe's Red Vest associates can help with game time decisions. Plus, use in-store mode on the Lowe's app to find what you need. Under pressure at home and want it soon? Order online by 2 p.m. to get it same day. Same day valid on eligible in-stock items and select zip codes only, subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase, exclusions, and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
We have news from G-Man, the voice of the Sacramento Kings. First look at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. Amazing what you can do with a couple $1 billion. Impressive. So G-Man is impressed, Chris. I know you want to make your way down there. So do I. And we had something, I know you put it in our group chat. Every media member is going to get a touch screen in front of them.
Yeah, it appears so. It appears that on Media Row, they have little tablets in front of all the seats. And so, you know, how many times do we go to Kings games and woe is us, so poor us, but like there's football games on, there's the World Series on, like we'll have things that we have to watch as, you know, it's not just a lot of people who are the media aren't just, you know, basketball writers. You got news people, you got people like us and radio, and just have to kind of keep on with what's going on. And, you know, I think the Intuit Dome very clearly is just a very, the attention to detail seems to be nothing like I've ever seen before. I mean, there's, from what we just talked about to, you know, they have community courts outside in which I think Law Murray was telling us you could reserve like the individual court. So if you just really wanted a ball at 12:30 and it's a Tuesday and you just want to get a group of friends, you can definitely find a place and know that you don't have to wait for next or anything like that. Like you can just go out there and ball. They also have across the arena. I think the coolest thing that I'm most excited to see is they've collected high school jerseys from all across California, and they claim to have every single high school basketball jersey hung up somewhere in the arena. And so it's kind of like a scavenger hunt in a way. You can go find your alma mater if you want. You can go find a De La Salle basketball jersey in the Intuit Dome.
So it's a jersey from every
high school.
Okay, so not players, just hey, they have
the players that have played for the Clippers. They have if you played for the Clippers and you played in California, those jerseys will be turned around. So it'll say it'll be specific to like James Harden, Russell Westbrook, those guys.
There you go.
It seems dope though. It seems like absolutely incredible. The wall too, like the fan section behind the hoop. I saw a video of that the other day. That looked really cool. It seems like everything was done with a lot of attention to detail.
Well, speaking of detail, it takes a lot of detail to handle the blitz, Chris, as we get into Brock Purdy and his brilliance.
I thought we were doing NFL blitz.
Well, that's coming up soon or next week. These QBs kept it cool under pressure this week. This is from the 33rd team. Best passer rating when blitzed. Deshaun Watson actually at number 10. Baker Mayfield at number 9, Aaron Rodgers at number 8, Caleb Williams, number 7, Jared Goff at number 6, Trevor Lawrence, number 5, Jordan Love at number 4, Lamar Jackson, number 3, Josh Allen, number 2, Brock Purdy, number 1. And of course, when they post this, Chris, because the 33rd team, they are I guess a platform that they haven't necessarily loved Brock Purdy. And I just find it funny. I'm just showing Chris the graphic of it has Jordan Love, who was the 4th best QB as far as passer rating when blitzed, and Brock Purdy was number 1. Brock Purdy is not pictured in the graphic. I just found that interesting. We'll call that interesting. Brock Purdy, his air yards have just been insane, Chris. This is from Tony Holzman Escareno. Brock Purdy has averaged twice as many air yards per attempt than Patrick Mahomes. Brock Purdy's at 10 and Patrick Mahomes at 5. Purdy has averaged 9.1 air yards per completion compared to Mahomes' 3.6. Purdy has the lowest percentage of pass yards from Yak in the NFL. Mahomes has the highest. So this whole idea is almost as if Brock is trolling the haters. This whole idea of, oh, Brock gets everything from yak. Well, now Brock has the least amount of yak, and he's doing it via the air yards. Chris, that might be something to talk about, though, as far as, yeah, that's all fine and good, but the team is 3-3. So maybe, I don't know if that's coming from Brock having to rely more on air yards. Maybe it's the lack of separation, but as I say it out loud, cool, the air yards are good, so Brock Purdy haters are quiet, but you talk about moving goalposts. Well, the yak is down, and you're 3-3. So maybe the yak is more important than the air yards as we talk about the Niners actually winning football games.
Yeah, because I'm looking at a chart here that has the yak yards kind of displayed for all the quarterbacks, and it's not just that Brock Purdy's last in yak, it's that it's not even really close. I mean, he's at 32%. The next closest is Sam Darnold at 40.4, and then it's everybody else is kind of within like a nice little 4 to 5 percentage range, and Brock is so far back. And the difference of 32% to literally double. Patrick Mahomes has 64% of his yards versus yak. I think it's a little bit of a balancing act too. I mean, you can understand how if you're throwing more air yards, maybe there's not more yards to run on the back end of it. And, just in general, he's throwing deeper down the field. And, if you're throwing a lot of slants and under routes and bubbles and things like that, that's naturally going to lead to more yak. And so how much of it is Brock deciding to go deep versus maybe the play calls have started to change? I don't know, but I just kind of think that this is all numbers that say Brock Purdy is playing well, and I wouldn't blame their record on Brock Purdy. I don't think they're 3-3 because of Brock Purdy's performances. I think they're 3-3 because of the lack of attention to detail. The special teams have been bad,
I'm not saying that,
the
by
defenses
the way.
have been an issue.
I'm not saying that, by the way. I just find it interesting.
No, for sure.
Yeah, and I would also say maybe the lack of yak is going back to that lack of separation, tight windows, so the defender is right there, so there's not very many yards to have after the catch, because as soon as they catch it, they're getting tackled. Here is Andy Reid on Brock Purdy and what he has seen from him so far.
I think he's a heck of a player. I remember the head coach at Iowa State saying this guy changed the program around. And when you make a statement like that, and he's a good football coach, when you make a statement like that, that's bold. And it's we all see why he said it. He was right on with that. I mean, this kid's he's a heck of a football player.
So don't let the talking heads fool you. The greatest names in the game, they know what Brock Purdy brings to the table. Around the NBA, we go in 4 minutes. We'll be right back. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Have you heard you can listen to your favorite news podcast ad-free? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. Enjoy shows like The Daily, Up First, and Consider This, available ad-free on Amazon Music. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free. That's amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Fall's right around the corner, and there's no better way to experience nature and everything that Northern California has to offer than in a Jeep. And right now, it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And they've got the deals and selection for you. From sales to service, they're going to prove to you why they deserve your business. Their GM, Chuck Dean, he has this talent of not only getting you the best deal in town, but he also is able to build an inventory that other dealers are jealous of. SacsSuperstore.com and located off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise.
Every club on the shelves can be tried for free on the driving range. 3 TrackMan units and a Hagen Oaks team of skilled fitting professionals provide the finest club fitting experience. Our personable Super Shop staff will show you the newest to help you look and play your best. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Kyle Draper. Drapes for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now is the time to buy or lease a Mercedes-Benz van for sale. They have Sprinter vans. You could turn it into a worker cargo van, a worker passenger van, or just a plain old passenger van. They are fully customizable. And one of the things I love about their Sprinter vans, because trust me, I had a chance to check them out myself. I hopped in the Sprinter van, and you guys know I'm a big guy, right? Well, I was able to stand up head to toe and fit perfectly. So if you're interested in the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van for your business or just your personal needs, now is the time to head down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. They can help you find the configuration that best suits your needs. Plus, you can take advantage of the huge tax breaks before year's end. Take the short drive down I-5 or go online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them your boy Drape sent you.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Halfway through the 3rd hour and in the 1 o'clock hour, that's right, need your help. Ruin a surprise. I'm pretty sure she's not going to do this. Ruin a surprise. What do I do next? Do I take the L? Do I try to rework it? What would you do? Help your boy out in the 1 o'clock hour. But now we go around the NBA. It was so nice. We got to play it twice. Here is the Ryan Ruocco call of Sabrina Ionescu's game winner for the Liberty to take a 2-1 lead in the WNBA Finals. Here it is.
8 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter of Game 3. 4 seconds. Ionescu will heave and hit! And hit! Sabrina Ionescu with the biggest shot in Liberty history!
Sucks he pronounced her name wrong on the biggest stage.
What is it supposed to be?
Chris?
Ionescu.
Is Ryan Ruocco the one that says, "You bet"?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this was bigger than a "you bet," but I do love I'm really growing to love his "you bet" calls when a big shot is made. Here is Sabrina Ionescu talking about being built for the moment as she talks to Holly Rowe.
You hadn't had many good looks from three in this game. Why, with 7 seconds left, deep behind the three-point line, did you feel like you could hit that?
I trusted my preparation. I'm built for this moment. I missed one that could have sealed the game, and I just got an open look, and I trusted that I could make it. My teammates got me open, and God, it feels good to get a win.
Doesn't do it service. She's like literally fighting back tears. It was just such a great moment, such an emotional ride, and you could just feel, you could feel the emotions of the game and of the shot. As it happened, she hits it, she starts screaming, looking at her bench, and like you can instantly see again, she's like holding back tears. You can see how much that moment meant to her. And I just think that I'm built for this moment. I think that's, if I work at Nike, I'm the second that the Liberty win the championship, built for this moment.
And her shoes are fire too.
They're great. I mean, they are the most sold. I think they're the most customized Nike ID shoe on the website. They are popping.
Well, Moses Moody is going to continue to pop in Golden State if he gets any playing time. The Warriors and Moses Moody, his representatives, have discussed the framework of a possible deal, league sources said, near the mid-level exception range for multiple seasons. That is from our guy, Anthony Slater. I'm not going to call him a bust, Chris, because in basketball, we know a lot can happen, and there have been a lot of picks that have gone higher than Moses Moody. He's not really a bust because he hasn't really had an opportunity to be a bust. But as he has been a name that Kings have been interested in, Kings fans, because he always seems to torch the Kings when he does get on the court. I don't really know what to make of this. I don't think the Warriors know what to make of Moses Moody. I hope he gets playing time. He does things the right way. We saw the reports from Jonathan Kuminga a couple years ago from saying he deserves this, he deserves that. Moses Moody literally just grabs his lunch pail and goes to work. He doesn't really have a choice but to be around this price point because nobody really knows what he can do.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's a bust at all. I mean, busts don't get this kind of contract. Like, if the Warriors didn't think he was a player, I think they would just let him walk. I mean, you see a guy like James Bouknight. I just saw he got signed by the Blazers and then was waived by the Blazers yesterday. Those are the real busts out there. Moses Moody just hasn't really gotten a full opportunity. We'll see what they end up doing with him, what their plan is. I think that there's a player in there. They just got to give him an opportunity. And like you said, every time he plays the Kings, he absolutely torches us. So maybe that's just he's a Kings killer and he has that in his DNA. But I feel like more times than not, when Moses Moody checks out of the game, Kings fans take a big sigh of relief. I think that probably means it has to be something in there that is an NBA player.
Yes.
Like a good NBA, like a rotational piece. For any team, I think Moses Moody could be.
Yeah, the Warriors, I think, between Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga, just kind of tweeners in a way, or not one-trick ponies, but they're not versatile enough for what I think the Warriors want, but part of that is because of the Warriors not developing them as well as I think they could have. Next, Giannis is pulling the old. You ever want to break up with someone, but you start planning it in their mind? Hey, are you sure you're happy with me? If you want to break up, just let me know. Giannis thinks he might get traded if the Bucks don't win a championship, because yes, Giannis, the Bucks would definitely move off of you, who's brought the Bucks more success than they've ever seen. Yeah, if we don't win a championship, I might get traded. This is the job we live. This is the world we're living in. It's everybody at any given moment. If you don't succeed, that might be it for us. If you don't do a good enough job, you're out. That is from Giannis' conversation with Sam Amick. Chris, are you buying this from Giannis, or is this more about Giannis almost saying, I'd be down to get traded if we don't win? If you're Dame, or are you just taking this as Giannis saying, yeah, I mean, technically anything can happen?
Yeah, it's tough to not, when you just see it written, like this is from Sam Amick's article, so we don't get any audio of it. I would guess that, and Sam Amick, by the way, was on with Jason Ross this morning. You can go check that out at Sacktown Sports YouTube channel. I would guess that Giannis is probably just trying to be honest, and like knowing Giannis's story a little bit. I think he kind of always has, even if it seems irrational, he does have like an insecurity about, because of his upbringing, just feeling like all this could be taken away. I would guess that some of that is this, but I would say a majority of it is definitely what you said. Feels like it's him. He knows what he's doing. Like, they're not going to trade Giannis unless Giannis says, okay, I want to go actually play for a contender. Right. I don't want to go play with this AARP team that you guys have here in Milwaukee. That's the only way Giannis Antetokounmpo gets traded. If they don't win a championship this year, like you said, Dame's gone, or Chris Middleton's gone, or Brook Lopez is gone, Giannis Antetokounmpo, if the Bucks have it their way, isn't going anywhere. So maybe it is him kind of planting a seed here.
This is from Clutch Points, Chris. I found it interesting because Victor Wembanyama has really showed that he wants to win, and he wants to win now. This is from Clutch Points. ESPN gives the Spurs just a 1% chance to make the playoffs this season, and that could be scary for the rest of the league. With San Antonio still building around Victor Wembanyama, ESPN's Basketball Power Index doesn't think they'll be competitive this season. They're projected to finish with a 31-51 record, and with just a 1% chance at the playoffs, there's only one team with a lower percentage, the Washington Wizards, who are at a miserable 0%. But if the Spurs finish with the bottom 3 record, they'll be tied for the highest odds for the number 1 pick in the 2025 draft, where a budding superstar from Duke will be waiting to be selected, Cooper Flagg, who could just be what the Spurs need to take them into contender status for the next decade. Imagine an explosive scorer next to Wemby. Imagine a playmaking mastermind next to Wemby. Imagine an all-defensive beast next to Wemby. If the Spurs follow ESPN's projection for them and snag the number 1 pick, that could be a real possibility for the 2025-2026 season. And with Flagg and Wemby, it could be scary hours for the rest of the league. Here's why I want to go with this, Chris, before I throw it to you. I don't care about the ESPN projection. I think that the Spurs, as much as we joke about Harrison Barnes, dull Swiss Army knife, I think the Spurs are going to be too good, and especially adding Chris Paul. We've seen Chris Paul do this thing before. My question to you, ignoring the ESPN Basketball Power Index, did the Spurs hustle backwards by making themselves actually too good to put themselves in this position?
No. Why would you want to be bad with one of the best players, especially one of the best young players in the NBA? Be good. You want him to be in a good winning culture, winning environment. I mean, yeah, it sounds nice in theory to lose and then get a Cooper Flagg at the end of next year, but who's to say that Cooper Flagg and Wemby are going to be good the year after that? Like, I think it's about getting a good culture. You already have a franchise piece in Victor Wembanyama. Yes, you can definitely. It's great to have 2, sure, but I just think that it's much better to put Wemby in a good situation, and people will come to play with Wemby. I think obviously it'd be fun. Yeah. It'd be exciting to have Wemby and Cooper Flagg on the same team, 2 athletic freaks at their size, but ultimately I think it's more important for the Spurs who already have a franchise piece. Don't let that franchise piece get upset and want to leave you like Kawhi did, like DeJounte Murray did, like you could maybe say DeMar DeRozan did. I think that the Spurs should try and make that situation as good and comfortable as possible for Wemby. And as competitive as Wemby is, there's no way he was going to sign up for another tank of a season.
Last but not least, Chris, Zach LaVine, according to Anthony Irwin, is a name to keep an eye on for the Los Angeles Lakers. Here is the quote. In terms of the names the Lakers might be after whenever Pelinka does finally address the holes in the roster, league sources continue to point to Kyle Kuzma of Washington, Cam Johnson, and Dorian Finney of Brooklyn, Walker Kessler of Utah, Bruce Brown of Toronto, and others. So everyone. Everyone.
Everyone who's on the block.
One name league sources say to keep an eye on is Zach LaVine, who played well in his return from surgery last year. One thing we haven't really mentioned, does Zach LaVine, we talk about the preseason and how it doesn't matter for records. Could it matter for guys like, I know Lonzo made his return yesterday and Zach LaVine's been playing well. Could it matter for guys like that where maybe the Lakers weren't sure, or teams like the Lakers weren't sure, do I want to pay this guy? And, he played well in a preseason. Let's go out and get him. I guess it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, you still want to – it helps. I mean, it definitely opens the conversation, but if I'm the Lakers or any team out there, I'm not trading for Zach LaVine until it's a month into the season. Like, it's great that he's back on the floor and able to play, period, but the problem is he going to stay healthy? And I think that's the part that if you're a team, especially if you're going to be paying Zach LaVine the money that he's due, you better be sure that he's at least going to be playing for you. So maybe once he gets a little bit more healthy, once he's, kind of shown for a month or so that he can play consistently, he can still put up the same numbers, that's probably when the market will heat up a little bit. And even then, I think it's going to just be the Lakers and maybe another desperate team, because we've been trying to figure out who is going to be the team that ends up biting on Zach LaVine. It's not going to be an obvious one. I think it's going to be a team that just, again, becomes desperate out of nowhere, and it definitely might be the Lakers, but I could see it being a team that just kind of pops out of nowhere.
On the other side, the fireman coming. NFL fire sale might be starting. Who should the Niners go after? Stiles and Watkins, second.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Don't miss the action as the Kings tip off their 40th season in Sacramento. Be there for opening night at Golden One Center on Thursday, October 24th, when the Kings take on the Minnesota Timberwolves at 7 p.m. Tickets for all games are on sale now, so be sure to get yours to see De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, new addition DeMar DeRozan, and all of your Sacramento Kings take the court. Head to kings.com/tickets to secure your seat for the action.
There's no need to be scared of auto maintenance this October. Your local Jiffy Lube has just the treats you need without the tricks, like fast oil changes or wiper blades for the upcoming rainy season. Serving greater Sacramento area customers since 1984 with over 30 convenient locations to choose from. Open daily, early at 7:30 and open past 6 p.m. at most locations. Just visit jiffylube.com to find a location near you and valuable coupons to save money too.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for usages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Made a Chevy Silverado blowout is on with $12,750 off MSRP. Every new 2024 Silverado half-ton LT in stock after rebates, or choose $12,000 off MSRP on every new 2024 Silverado half-ton RST in stock after rebates. Exclusively at Made a Chevy at MadeAChevy.com, Sacramento's Silverado headquarters. Whatever Silverado you choose, you'll save thousands at Made a Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. Must during the 2010 model year or newer. Ends 10/31/24.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let's fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $67. Plumbing, sewer, electric, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Niners, even if Steve Mariucci thinks that they are the best 3-3 team the league has ever seen, they could always be better. And there are some teams that might be willing to move off of some of their players. So the fireman's coming. And the fire sale is coming. Could the Raiders be one of those teams? Could the Browns be one of those teams? This is from Josina Anderson. She is essentially asked, what should the Jets do with Hassan Reddick? And this is just her opinion. She says, personally, I'd like to see Hassan Reddick in San Francisco. The 49ers are one long-term injury away to either Nick Bosa or Leonard Floyd from seriously needing his services, since the depth behind that 2 deep dominant system drops off bigly after them. Just my opinion.
Maybe I'm stupid, but the whole reason Hassan Reddick isn't with the Jets is because they won't pay him what he wants.
That's right.
So
And that's how I understand it.
trade him to the Niners. He's not going to play. Can they afford to sign him
Yeah,
like
he
this?
wants a new deal. That's why he left the Eagles didn't want to give
We
him a new
just
deal.
spent 6 months doing this with Ayuk.
No,
and-
please, not again.
I know.
No,
and,
not again, not
and,
again.
And Brock Purdy
No.
talking about next season. So that, to me, seems very, very
right,
almost impossible.
Right. I mean, at least some of these other guys that you're about to name off, Nate, are on deals. Right?
Or expiring deals.
Let's talk about guys that are actually on the field. How about
Yes, yeah, guys who play football and who aren't injured right now.
Yes. All right, Nate, give us a list.
So this list is primarily the first one contradicts this, but mostly rental guys, right?
Yes.
Like last year, they borrowed Chase Young for a year, who's now on the Saints. Will be playing tonight. Didn't work out great. It was fine. It was fun when they had the bookend tackles and stuff, but it's very
Ohio
forgettable.
State bros.
Yeah. It was very forgettable. But with that said, the opening guy I would like to push for the 49ers would be Myles Garrett.
Okay.
The man's 29 years old. It's going to have a huge asking price, and we'll come back around to that. And a lot of Cleveland teams will be popping up in this because Cleveland is kind of having a fire sale themselves as they just got rid of Amari Cooper, who went to the Bills. But Denzel Ward, that's a guy I wanted the Niners to draft so bad. I believe that was the McGlinchey year. Might have been after that. But Denzel Ward signed an extension on his rookie deal. You got Kayvon Thibodeau, who's still on his rookie deal with the Giants. Great pass rusher. They might be throwing everything away. Von Miller, who's currently 35 years old, who's in Buffalo. He has an opt-out, I believe, next season. Zadarius Smith, who's on a 1-year deal with Cleveland as well. They might be able to get like a 5th or 6th round pick for the Niners. Buda Baker, not going to happen, but the guy I probably want the most, maybe besides Myles Garrett, on the team that would make the biggest impact, a veteran safety, where the Niners are crippled right now with Malik out and with Hufanga out at least another 2 games after the Chiefs. You got Andre Sisco, who we played his audio early this week, called out his team in Jacksonville after a win. He was rated in the 90s for PFF, which is very high, very elite, while the rest of his team was mediocre at best. He's on the last year of his rookie deal. And then Jamal Adams, as of this morning, free agent from the Tennessee Titans, used to be with the Seahawks. Seahawks gave up everything to get him. So he'd make a lot more sense as a safety too, but again, injury prone. Those are my pitches for you guys. Do you like anyone for the Niners to go after?
So you're looking at getting after the quarterback and the safety position.
Defensive backs, yeah.
I would say, the Myles Garrett thing, that's a pipe dream, but I understand. Chris, I don't know. And Von Miller had that, the weird thing where, he can't even play because he violated a policy. I'm staying away from Von Miller. He's off my list personally. I like the idea of Buda Baker. I like Zadarius Smith on a 1-year deal. I think the reason you might feel a little bit spicier to do something if you're the Niners, and we're going to go back to Chris's NFC North, and this is basically based on the Vikings perspective, but you can look at it from the Niners perspective as well. The Bears, Lions, and Packers have 3 of the toughest remaining schedules. So those are 3 NFC teams that the Niners are going to do battle with. The NFC East is a mess as well. So it's a good year for the Niners to be 3-3. You can look at that and say that means we don't have to freak out and make a move, or you can look at that and say, here's an opportunity for us to skip ahead of the line and get back where we need to be. So I think some of the names definitely make sense. It just depends on what you're willing to give up. If you're the Niners, we know how much NFL GMs care about first and second, things like that. But yeah, if it's somebody that you don't have to deal with the Brandon Ayuk situation, great. If so, I'd probably stay away.
Yeah, I feel like the Niners, if they are going to improve somewhere, I personally think the defensive backs are the place where I would look. Not necessarily the corners. I think the corners have been solid, but I think the fact that they've had some, and maybe I'm just paying too much attention to it, but these explosive plays that the Niners have been giving up just is very uncharacteristic of them. And to me, that's something where even if you are the better team, if you're going to allow teams like the Cardinals to get 50-yard catches and, again, the 2-2 out or 50-yard runs, I guess, in the case of the Cardinals, 50-yard catch in the case of the Rams, that's how you really end up going from, hey, we squeaked this game out to, oh man, we actually surprisingly lost this game. I feel like the Niners could really just shore up that side. I do like the Zadarius Smith shout, I think on a 1-year rental, with the Niners. And I'm not going to try and act like I understand the Niners financial situation and like what they can do and can't do with future money. But to me, a 1-year rental on a guy who's been there, done that in the league, I think is a good place to at least look. And it's not as much hype as the Chase Young edition either. I think a lot of people felt like, oh my gosh, the Niners get Randy Gregory and then they get Chase Young. Like they're going to be a top level rushing team, defensive rushing team in the NFL. And just didn't feel that way. It feels like Zadarius can be more of a situational rusher. And I think that they can use some more pressure. I mean, it really has just been a majority of Bosa getting pressures on the quarterback, and even he hasn't gotten home a ton. That's the two places I would look. Nate, would you say specifically one of the pass rush or the DBs feels like does one feel bigger than the other in terms of a need?
That's a very good question, because before the season, I definitely would have said corner. Diamador Lenore has really showed up for the Niners and has been
the hyena.
Yeah, he's been very impressive.
Yes.
Huh.
He's calling himself the hyena.
I haven't even heard that. So Alan,
like
closet
that.
Niners fan.
Yeah.
Check his Instagram.
There's cheetah and hyena.
That's right.
I know he was asking on his Instagram for a jet sweep from Brock Purdy too. I saw that.
Really?
But I would probably say pass rush right now, because that fixes everything on the defense when you have a good pass rush.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right?
In theory. Yeah.
Defensive back, though, really, really starting to get worried about safety, because I was impressed with Malik Mustafa. I am impressed with Bernardo Green, as we watched the rookies take over a week ago from today in that game. Pass rush. Pass rush on the end, opposite of Bosa, really is what I want to see.
I'll tell you this much, just looking from the teams, and I know we mentioned Cleveland, Arizona. I think the Giants have too much pride to move off of Kayvon Thibodeau. I don't think they're going to move off of Kayvon Thibodeau. It's similar, Chris, to the Max Crosby conversation with the Raiders. Not to say that a price tag couldn't convince you, but this is one of the shining lights from a Giants draft. I just don't see the Giants moving off of Kayvon Thibodeau. And on top of that, you have we just talked about the division. We know the Browns are done. The Giants could convince themselves, hey, the NFC East is a mess. The Eagles aren't the cream of the crop anymore. Cowboys are a mess. Commanders are a little bit ahead of their time. I don't think that Kayvon Thibodeau, I think he'd maybe even have the highest price tag, simply because I don't think the Giants want to move off him just quite yet. Budda Baker maybe would be a little bit different because Arizona is a bit of a mess. But I can't see Kayvon Thibodeau. I can't see the Giants moving off of him. But, I mean, crazier things have happened.
Yeah, I don't know if Budda Baker would fall into the Devontae Adams category of I don't know if the Cardinals would want to trade him to a division rival. I think obviously the Cardinals still play the Niners one more time this year too. Not sure if they would welcome that. It's interesting that, as we kind of have wondered if the Niners offense could be a problem, and we haven't mentioned any names on the offensive side. I think it would be tough to try and imagine them adding another receiver, but do they maybe look at running back? I know, a couple weeks ago, it feels like maybe a month ago at this point, we were having the Dolphins running back conversation of maybe they look at Raheem Mostert, maybe they look at a Jeff Wilson Jr., maybe they look at offensive line. I mean, that offensive line has always kind of had a couple leaks in it. I wonder if maybe they look to address one of those spots. It feels like the offense might be the thing that they want to maybe give attention to this year after last year, putting all the attention on the D-line. I wonder if maybe it was a learning lesson too. I mean, they put so much investment at the trade deadline into the defensive line. Didn't really feel like it paid off much at all. I mean, it was still it was very talented, but it didn't feel like the talent to production ratio
no chemistry
really ever met up. And so I wonder if maybe that affects John Lynch and the Niners attack towards this deadline as well.
I'd like to add one more thing. You brought up the O-line, Chris. And another guy in Cleveland is Joel Bitonio. He's a guard there in Cleveland, and he's playing okay this season. I thought maybe he could bring some veteran experience to the line. I know they have a couple younger guys in Pooney and Colton McKivitz over there, but I was looking more into it, and I had to pull him off the list because I think that throws too big of a wrench into everything when it comes to chemistry on the O-line. And so far, I mean, they've been playing pretty well, especially Pooney. Trent Williams is no question. But then we also have Feliciano coming back to be the center, presumably. Like, that's a very big possibility. So I don't know if O-line – I've kind of took a step back from making a move on the O-line this season.
Don't move a muscle. Top stories of the day when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sacktown Sports.
Spins away from the defender. In the paint. Soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento. It's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Hey, I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Jeff Lynn's ELO.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why.
Live in concert in Sacramento. The Over and Out Tour. Jeff Lynn's ELO. The final tour. All the hits. Live at Golden One Center, October 23rd. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Golf.com's Josh Sens offers 5 common golf course maintenance mistakes and tips to correct them. You've hit the green, and to fix your divot, you jam your tool underneath the ball mark and lift the soil, but the right way is to circle the edges of the mark with your tool, gently pulling the turf toward the center. Second, when fixing divots in the fairway, fill it with sand until it's level with surrounding turf, and gently smooth it with your foot. Third, when the course imposes the 90-degree rule, it means to stay on the cart path until you can turn at a right angle to your ball, minimizing wear and tear on the turf. 4, when you're driving on the course, proceed at a modest pace and avoid staked and roped-off areas. Avoid sharp turns, wet turf, bunker edges, tees, and greens. The superintendent will applaud you. 5, in a bunker, rake the sand smoothly and exit as you entered from the low side. Tap the sand from your shoes and leave it as if you weren't there. And now that you know, make sure your foursome knows as well. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Ram Power Days?
The savings just keep getting better and better. Right now, you can save up to $17,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorns. And yes, I said the very nicely equipped, updated 2025 Rams.
Man, that is some of the best savings you've had all year.
Yep, and you won't find better deals on more Ram trucks than at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. There's a reason we continue to be one of the biggest Ram dealers in the country, with numerous customer service awards, including the very very prestigious Walter P. Chrysler Award, which means we are in the top 1% of dealers in the nation.
Don't miss the savings at Hoblet. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
17,000 total net savings after 12,500 factory rebates and 4,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,000 Chrysler Capital bonus cash. Must finance through Chrysler Capital. 3,000 in Hoblet inventory select coupons and 2,000 in Hoblet trade-in assistance coupons. Must have qualifying trade-in. At least 5 of this net savings. Coupons only while supplies last. See dealer for details.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Hey, October's already heating up on the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. Enjoy family fun at Dave's Pumpkin Patch in West Sacramento all month long. Pick your perfect pumpkin, navigate the corn maze, jump on a massive jumping pillow, and create unforgettable memories for the kids. On October 20th, don't miss Renee Vaca at the Crest Theater for a night of laughs and entertainment. And mark your calendar for Sinners and Saints, the region's best Halloween party on October 26th at the venue at Thunder Valley, complete with a $5,000 costume contest. It's the most spooktacular event of the season. Looking ahead into November, join us for Legends of Motown at the venue at Thunder Valley November 23rd, bringing you the classic hits that defined a generation. And you're not going to want to miss the Jersey Boys Midtown Men Holiday Show December 8th, also at the venue at Thunder Valley. It's going to be a night filled with festive cheer and old school classics. And stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for all your live event updates and your chance to win tickets.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Hopkins. That's when the weather's hot.
They said not Watkins. Wow. Okay. Well, I'll just leave then.
Stiles and Notkins.
Yeah.
No Stiles and Notkins. You know, that reminds me of those shows. Remember when you would watch, I don't know if you guys even watch Rugrats.
Yes.
When they'd have the episode where it would be another group of babies and they all look like the Rugrats babies, but slightly different.
Yeah, those are always my favorite episodes of every
Me too.
show. Yeah, there's like I think you and Nate were talking about Justice League the movie, but there's Justice League the show where they had like an inverse of the heroes.
I don't know why. Why
They're
do
the
humans
best.
like those episodes that much?
I don't know. Like the only Power Rangers movie I remember from a kid is the exact same too, where it's like they're the evil Power Rangers,
Right.
but
I
everyone
love it.
like it's. And then there's always a scene where it's like one of the people dresses as one of the ones that we know, and they fool somebody who should know.
I can't tell the difference.
Yeah, and it's like, wait, but you just told me this.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't there.
There's Phil and Lil, and then what are your names?
Chill
Lil
and
and
Dill.
Yeah.
Chill and
Yo,
Dill.
my name's Chill.
Yeah,
You guys ever
Chill.
see Power Rangers and the live action Ninja Turtles team up movie?
No, I
that
could
one
imagine.
was there was a girl Ninja Turtle.
I'm in.
And her color was light blue. There's already Leonardo. It
Yeah,
doesn't make any
but
sense.
he's just normal.
I wasn't ever a big Ninja Turtles guy.
What?
Yeah, like it was
Donatello?
was not all my TV.
You would
Michelangelo?
Dude,
You're
this
not
guy's a DT guy.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Well, yeah. No, I want to be the leader too. Raphael, he was always mean.
I'm definitely Michelangelo. Cool but rude. That's so mean.
No, you're
I'm
No.
Michelangelo.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
eating the
Party
pizza
dude.
in the back and burritos. All right, let's get the top stories. The top of the hour. This one goes out to the get off my lawners, the old schoolers, where sometimes that's me, sometimes that's Chris, sometimes that's neither of us. JB Bickerstaff has set an old school mentality dress code for the Pistons. Don't wear anything on your head during the game. You don't wear jewelry. You practice how you play. Just the last shred of that old school mentality. No headbands? Really?
Why do you need a headband if you're not playing? Oh, he's saying you like no headbands if you
says
are
don't
playing?
wear anything on your head during the game. I don't know if that.
I assumed when you say dress code, I assumed it was for injured players. It's not. No. I think you're right. As I'm reading it right now, it is. Yes, he says during the game, don't wear your jewelry. Yeah, no, I think he's talking about, not wearing headbands like sweatbands and not, sometimes people will rock, just a little chain underneath the jersey.
Players don't wear earrings during the game. Football, they do.
Yeah,
football, they do. Basketball, they do not.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's definitely
no headbands is crazy.
It's definitely a bit much. The headbands is definitely probably a step too far. It's like your favorite thing that you like to joke with Frankie about with the mustaches and the Yankees.
Oh yeah,
it's a little bit okay. I think you're taking yourself too seriously. I will ask you. I mean, I guess. Do you think that the NBA should reinstitute a dress code?
Whoa! I have it. I have the dress code right now.
The NBA dress code
for on the court. Is that what you're asking?
No,
for the NBA.
My question was more so off of, but yes, JB is talking about on the.
What do you have, Nate?
I have. So you can't wear any sort of jewelry on the court.
Okay.
That is against the rules.
So
and then it just says no dangerous equipment. Is that like a toothpick or something?
That's Gilbert Arenas.
Sharp nails.
Yeah.
That's Gilbert Arenas rule.
Draymond's trying to figure out how
we don't know
you
what
weapons.
it means, but we just thought it would be important to put it in the rule.
Let's just cover it.
Nothing
just in case.
dangerous. Nothing that
So
could be
stuff we do know, tucked in jerseys all the time.
Buddy Hield does not listen to that.
Neither does Kyrie.
Yes, he does.
No t-shirts underneath the jerseys, which
you can wear compressions, but not t-shirts. Yeah,
and then
college.
There's color restrictions on the sleeves. Tights must be black, white, beige, or the same color as your team's
I did not
uniform.
know that beige is acceptable.
Teammates must wear the same color sleeves and tights.
Huh.
Yeah. This comes from
that's interesting.
Google's AI overview
that
of
works.
the NBA.
Okay.
Dress code.
Interesting.
As far as your question, Chris.
The off-the-floor dress code. It was implemented because for some pretty racy reasons, they kind of were trying to clean up the image. Yeah, they were trying to clean up the image of the NBA. They didn't want their guys rocking cornrows and baggy clothes and football jerseys on the sideline. And so, they went full like suit and ties and everything like that. If you're not playing and you're on the bench, you got to wear a suit and tie. And then they went away from it. And I only ask because it feels like the Kyle Kuzmas, the Russell Westbrooks of the world have definitely taken the pregame dress code and they've stretched what I think everybody feels like is not necessarily acceptable, but they're making it a thing. And I wonder if maybe you feel like, and I don't know really where I feel, I might, kind of be trying to lead you in a certain way, but how do you feel about the NBA maybe instituting another suit and tie dress code?
No, I don't think that's necessary.
I guess business.
It's going to be called the Harrison Barnes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary. I think it is what it is now. I think the NBA has changed. And I think everybody wants to be talked about. And even if you're getting talked about for reasons you might not love, and the NBA wants to be on the top of it. It's a news feed.
I can't believe I didn't mention Tyrese Halliburton.
Right.
Kuzma and
he's
really the one.
Yeah, it's a news feed, and that thing is going to continue to refresh, and the goal is to be on the top of the news feed every single day, and you make everybody wear a suit and tie, you will not be at the top of that news feed. I think the NBA cares about that. It's a new day. It's a new age, and this is where we're at now. So I don't think they should, and I don't think they will.
Yeah, I mean, I would just like there to be no Inspector Gadget stuff. Anything.
Funny enough, he'd
wears,
probably be fine with the dress code.
He would,
because he's not dressing. I mean, Russell Westbrook wore. What did he wear? The construction,
the construction
with nothing
overall,
underneath. I mean, I thought I was at a bachelorette party. I mean, what's going on? All right, next we have Front Office Sports reporting Tuesday. The Pat McAfee show, that's the one where Aaron Rodgers was on and Devontae Adams crashed the show. Tuesday was Pat McAfee's show's most watched episode ever, according to ESPN, with 50 million views across all platforms. Chris, this is what Aaron Rodgers does. We're trying to figure out who he still is on the football field, but he knows how to create a polarizing product, and you mix that with Pat McAfee, and this is what you get.
Yeah, I mean, it's the worst marriage possible, honestly, in my eyes. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers, and I don't really love Pat McAfee's show, but I can't help but to acknowledge that it is he does what he does very well, and that's bring eyeballs and bring attention to anything, really. I mean, and this really felt like it was reality TV in the making. It felt like, with Aaron Rodgers, and then you had Devontae in the background. It was made for TV, and it was cool. It was really cool, and I'm sure it's something Jets fans won't forget, and Raider fans probably won't forget either.
Yeah.
But it is very. I know McAfee's involved in wrestling, but it felt very wrestling, very reality TV.
When you first see it, it does feel like McAfee wasn't involved.
No,
I don't think he was. I don't think
he
he said, "Hey, Aaron, can you get Devontae?" I think it was all Aaron.
Yep.
I think it was all Aaron on that one. Speaking of ESPN, let's see who's going to be happy. Let's see who's going to be upset on this one. ESPN has signed 4 basketball analysts to multi-year contracts. Tim Legler, Shanae Agumuke, Monica McNutt.
All right.
Last but not least, Big Perk is back.
Stopped at 3.
Kendrick Perkins is back. Big Perk has signed a multi-year deal to stay with ESPN. I know people have their feelings about Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, I guess he out of work.
Well,
sorry, that's me.
Did you just come up with that?
Yes, I did.
That's
That was
messed
mean.
up.
That was really mean.
A lot of people don't like Kendrick Perkins, but for some reason, I think very similar to the NBA thing, Chris, everybody talks about him. And as long as you talk about him, even if it's how much you don't like him, I'll put it to you like this. If the numbers reflected how much people say they don't like Kendrick Perkins, he would not be getting a multi-year deal. So some of y'all are double agents.
Right.
Some of y'all are saying you don't like Kendrick
stop
Perkins.
hate watching.
Yeah, you need to stop hate watching if you want to move on from him. And last but not least, Devontae Adams was on the Up and Adams show and essentially gives a list of teams that he gave to the Raiders as far as where he wanted to go. Here it is.
Pretty much the media had it right, though. It was like Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Saints.
Yeah, well, those are the ones that got involved. Those are the ones that I wrote down on a little piece of paper and handed to the general manager. Those are the ones that were interested, and just so happened that the Jets were my number one choice, and they were probably the most interested, or clearly the most interested in me as well. So
I have a question. Were the Chiefs on the list?
Negative.
No.
That was talked about, but I mean, it's I don't want to say anything crazy, but the Chiefs were not on the list.
That is him pandering to Raider fans to make it seem like I would never do that to you, Raider. I know we know what you're doing, Devontae. You're not slick.
Yeah.
We know what you're doing. So that is Devontae trying to pander to Raider fans, saying, "Trust me, man. I always got love for the Raiders. I can't go to Chiefs." And I'm not saying he's making it up. I do believe him. It was interesting, Chris. If I'm not mistaken, Kay led that conversation with the Steelers. Saints not surprising. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Jets not surprising. Maybe Russell Wilson is about to cook this weekend. Is that what's about to happen? It's going to be on prime time Sunday Night Football. So maybe we're about to see the Steelers really take another step here, because if the Steelers were brought up to Devontae, that's kind of nuts to me, to be completely honest with you.
I think I think that they're trying to get them as much help as possible. I read it the opposite way. I think it's they aren't high on Russell Wilson, and they think he needs as much receiver help as possible.
Yeah. Well, but that was Devontae giving the list to the Raiders, though. Yeah. So why he would have the Steelers on that list, we do not know.
Mike Tomlin.
All right, what I don't know is how I'm going to get out of this sticky situation that I put myself in by ruining a surprise. Also, surprise, surprise, the Thunder still in a good position when it comes to pick swaps, and they can make their team even stronger. We'll tell you how when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop. O'Reilly.
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts in West Sacramento and Town Center Plaza next to Nugget Markets now through October 29th for the Customer Appreciation Day sale. You'll get 2 times O rewards points on select purchases. Plus, pick up 5 quarts of any Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil and receive a $10 gift card after rebate. And buy one, get one free Coca-Cola products at your Town Center Plaza.
A little bit confusing to a lot of people how he goes about his business and his personality, but these guys love the game, man. They love the game, and to not be able to play, that's got to be rough for him. Kawhi out indefinitely, so maybe the Kings will be able to get a W. So we're about to break all that down. I do need your help though, guys, and I need the help of the listeners. Again, I don't think my wife is listening, so I think we're safe. But
okay,
basically, I can't give all the details, but long story short, I was stuck in a very specific situation, and I'm normally very good at keeping secrets. secrets. And by the way, it is no secret that Kawhi is out, and we'll tell you how that affects the Thunder in about 5-7 minutes here. But I do need your help. Sack Chat, 916-339-1140 text line as well. Have you ever ruined a surprise, and what did you do? So here are the options, Chris. Like I said, I'm normally very good at keeping surprises. Okay. In this specific situation, there was a circumstance that led to why I ruined the surprise. Okay. Then once I ruined it, it was, okay, maybe I could have went about this the right way. She even said, maybe you could have went about this in a different way. Okay. But I panicked a little bit, right? But it was good intentions, okay? So now I'm wondering if you've ruined a surprise before, or if you were in my position, do you A, try to repackage the surprise, go with the, oh, actually it's not, I'm thinking I could go with the, oh, actually it's not happening, and try to deviate and move her in a different direction. Okay. And then bring it back. Yep. But really, I'm going to need help. And really sell the deviation.
Yeah, you need to. That's the hard part. Yes, you have to sell the deviation.
I need all hands on deck to sell the deviation. Yeah. Which maybe she buys it, maybe she doesn't. Okay. Or I eat it. It is what it is.
It's just not a surprise.
It still happens. Still has fun. Not a surprise. Maybe some people may think that she thought it was a surprise, but ultimately. It wasn't. So those are my two options. Obviously, I'm driving in today and I'm thinking, I can repackage this, right? I can find a way. If I do this and I do that, it should be okay. And then there's the other person. There's, the on my other shoulder saying, just eat it, dude. Just eat it.
Are we allowed to know what the surprise is? Because that might impact what you should do or not.
It was essentially
or maybe like, could you give us a range of like 1 to 10, how like exciting of a surprise this would have been?
It was more about, right. It was less about what they're gonna do and more about the fact that it was going to happen. So what they're going to do is nothing super crazy, but the fact that it was even happening, I think was, so the worst part is that the surprise is gone. So I have to find a way to repackage.
Are we talking like people coming into town and it's going to be a party kind of thing?
Around there.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Without getting into specifics.
Yes.
I think that you can repackage. If I had to guess, if you could put the toothpaste back into the tube, I would try and do it.
Yeah.
I just think that without knowing the specifics of the situation, it sounds like you're probably, like you said initially, you're probably going to need the people that were going to be involved in the surprise to tell her.
So I'm going to let it I'm going to let it chill for like a week.
I think the problem what is your excuse going to be as to, are you going to tell her, since you found out, I'm going to cancel, or
no,
it just hasn't worked out, like
because
something changed?
Because I think where I saved myself is that I blew it so early that I can wait a couple weeks and then
say things have changed.
And then say, hey, things have changed. And maybe even I'm going to suggest hey, we have a different plan that we're going with.
Okay.
And as long as everybody else is on board and she's not listening to the show right now, I think I should be able to get away with it. And I think she's a pretty good wife. I think ultimately
she'll play along, right?
She'll be playing along with me, right?
I just heard you say, I think she's a pretty good wife. I think maybe.
No, I didn't say that, did I?
I don't know. I think you're fine. I think that you've done some damage that can't be undone. Like, I think the surprise won't hit the same regardless because she's going to have it in the back of her mind.
Right.
That's the problem, is that you've already exposed it.
I got to sell the heck out of the deviation.
Yeah, exactly. You have to, like, there has to be you almost need to, like, method act and fall into no, this isn't happening as well.
I think the way I do that is by eating some of the L. I don't think I can say, hey, the whole thing is canceled. I think it's, hey, this happened, so now it's a different version of what we're doing, but then in reality, it is the original thing.
You do
you can't make it. I can't say 2 weeks later, hey, everything got canceled. Sorry, I gotta eat some of it.
Yeah.
I gotta eat some of it in order for some of it to still be a W.
And I assume you'll still day of also have to do some distracting and maneuvering,
yes.
right? Okay, yeah, because that's going to be the tough part too. Is she's going to be like, well, why are we doing things when I thought everything got canceled or whatever like that? So you're gonna. There's a lot of layers here that you're gonna have to, a lot of strings.
I've been in a deeper hole.
Yeah.
Okay. This is very similar to, I feel like, The Dark Knight. You know what I mean? I got to crawl my way out.
Yeah.
I got to crawl my way out.
I think it's salvageable, but again, I don't know the specifics of the situation, so I don't know
I'll let you know.
You'll be able
Are you thinking of the Shawshank Redemption?
No, Dark Knight, when he crawls out of the cave.
He crawls out of something completely different in Shawshank.
The Dark Knight Rises. The
Bane one, where they're in the hole and he crawls out in order to get out.
Yeah, Dark Knight Rises.
Okay. All right. I just, Morgan Freeman's in both. So
that's true.
That's kind of where my mind was going.
That's a good call.
That's right. Well, real quick on the Thunder front, because we're going to get to prop talk on the other side. Crazy coming from Chris's boy, Kevin O'Connor.
Oh, boy.
With Kawhi Leonard out, the Western Conference is so stacked. This is what he says. There's a strong chance now that the Clippers may miss the play-in without Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, for sure.
Which would give the Thunder a lottery pick, which means the Thunder could end up with Cooper Flag. There's a possibility.
No thanks.
So they really, really have put themselves in a great position if you are the Oklahoma City Thunder. 209, I think she's a pretty good wife, is exactly what you said. And now you really better hope she's not listening. Praying for you, my friend. Well, the whole thing is cooked if she's listening. Everything is cooked. I'm going to have bigger problems than the surprise.
I felt bad when you said that. I was like, I felt bad for you.
You know what I meant.
I know, but I'm not your wife.
Okay. That's also true.
Yeah.
Last time I checked.
Even though sometimes you look at me.
Yeah, not with that attitude.
That's right. Prop talk. Man, my biscuit's hard.
Okay.
on the other side. Thursday Night Football and your Sacramento Kings. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The quest for ring number 6 happens here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Bob Bolger went up and caught the ball. Touchdown!
Listen on Sacktown Sports for all the 49ers action.
Jennings went up and took it away. What a catch by JJ. He scored 3 touchdowns today.
Quest for 6 lives here on your local sports leader, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use. Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Don't miss the action as the Kings tip off their 40th season in Sacramento. Be there for opening night at Golden One Center on Thursday, October 24th, when the Kings take on the Minnesota Timberwolves at 7 p.m. Tickets for all games are on sale now, so be sure to get yours to see De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, new addition DeMar DeRozan, and all of your Sacramento Kings take the court. Head to kings.com/tickets to secure your seat for the action.
The Sacramento State Hornets are back at home this Saturday. Come check out the high-flying Hornets as they host the Weber State Wildcats. It's homecoming, so come check out some great football and stay for the post-game fireworks. That's Saturday, October 19th, as the Hornets take on Weber State, Hornet Stadium, 6 o'clock. Tickets on sale now at hornetsports.com. And remember, Stingers up.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the only store in the world to be named a top 100 shop for 40 years straight. Yes, the only golf shop in the world. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Try any club on the shelf on the driving range for free and let our staff show you everything you need to look and play better. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
The garage won't open again.
We're all out of coffee.
Life has enough surprises. Your car shouldn't be one of them. Stockton Honda keeps your car worry-free. From routine maintenance to that something's not right moment, our certified Honda experts know how to fix it right the first time.
Here you go, ma'am. You're all set.
Thank you.
Stockton Honda Service Department, keeping you ready for the road ahead.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
A lot of prop talk to get to, which means there are a lot of opportunities to get some cheese right before payday, or if you don't have a payday, you can get some cheese the week before. So guys, I'm gonna read. All I'm gonna do is read a tweet, okay? Right before we get to prop talk. All I'm gonna do is read a tweet, and I want to get your thoughts. You, of course, Chris, and Nate as well. I want to get your first thoughts when I read this tweet. Okay.
Okay.
This is from David Lombardi this morning.
Okay.
Steve Spagnuolo, who's arguably the best defensive coordinator in the NFL, on Brock Purdy. Quote,
just in general. Oh, okay.
I can't find a weakness in this QB. That is how David Lombardi says it. Steve Spagnuolo, who's arguably the best defensive coordinator in the NFL, of course, he added that in there. Not to say it's not wrong. It's not right or wrong. On Brock Purdy, I can't find a weakness in this QB. What are your initial thoughts?
There's more. There's a lot.
No. That's it.
No. My initial thoughts is that there's more to what Spagnuolo said, and there's a very specific part being pulled out for that tweet by Lombardi.
I also feel that way.
That's how I'm feeling. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how
yes. Regardless, I would say, regardless of whether the quote ended there or not.
I have the rest of the quote for what it's worth. Every time I put the film on, I'm more and more impressed.
That's the full quote.
Yeah. I can't find a weakness in this quarterback. Every time I put the film on, I'm more and more impressed.
So there are basically two paths to take here. The first path, which is the path that David Lombardi has taken, is, wow, Steve Spagnuolo, best defensive coordinator in the game. You guys are hating on Brock Purdy. He says he can't find a weakness. And that's option one. Option two is Steve Spagnuolo has been around a while. And if he has found a weakness, because every QB has a weakness, he's not going to tell it. Which path does it feel like we should take?
Yeah. It also could be a pat on his own back, being like, I can't find a weakness, but I beat him.
There's a lot of ways to go here, but the direction of, wow, Steve Spagnuolo is calling Brock a perfect QB. It's just, this is the problem, guys. This is the problem.
But he said it. Like, what is... Are you more upset at Lombardi, or are you more upset at Spagnuolo? Because it sounds to me like you're more upset at Lombardi.
Yeah, you're right.
But like, I'm the tweet where I found the full, like, Nick Wagoner posted it.
Tell me how Nick wrote it.
He said, Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo on 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy today. And then puts the quote, I can't find a weakness in this quarterback. Every time I put the film on, I'm more and more impressed. End of tweet.
I'm surprised Lombardi didn't put the full thing.
I'm all for dunking on Lombardi. I just think that, if Greg Popovich says, I really can't think of a thing that DeMar DeRozan does wrong, Frankie Cardicelli, Brendan Nunez are tweeting that quote out.
No, I hear you. I just think that we all know what Spagnuolo is doing.
I don't think we all know.
It's just gameplay.
Sure.
I'm not going to go up there and say, oh, yeah, well, I think he rolls to his left too. Yeah, I can't find a weakness. He rolls to his left too much.
It's also just maybe just a respect thing in the NFL. Just be like, yeah, I think he's great. And that's just the way he worded it.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a running joke that used to be Bill Belichick used to do that all the time too, but it was more when it was the inverse. It was whenever he would go against a Sam Darnold of the world, he would say, oh yeah, we have all the respect in the world for Sam, and he's a great quarterback. But then the really good quarterbacks, he would talk about how they're going to try and stop them and things like that, and not saying that that's what's happening.
Sure.
Again, I just think coaches big up the quarterback, the opposing quarterbacks especially, all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think maybe sometimes just be like, okay, I can't let Lombardi rile me up again today.
No, he's not riling me up. I'm just maybe I'm on an island with this. I just thought that everybody is reading it a certain way. It is meant to be read a certain way, but from my perspective, I'm reading it. I'm not reading it as if I actually think Steve Spagnuolo doesn't think Brock Purdy is a weakness.
It's not one of the most egregious ones, not even close to what we've even read on the show.
Fair
in
enough.
regards to Niners bias.
Okay.
I just think that's like,
There
I
it
mean,
is.
especially as a journalist or as somebody who's a media aggregator or whatever you want to call it, like this is like that's catnip. Like what how are you going to not put that out? If an opposing coach compliments one of the players that you cover to that level, you're not doing your job if you don't tweet that out.
I hear you.
What did Cohn say about that?
Yeah, right. That's what
I
I'm
have
saying,
not
you know?
seen it yet, but you better believe I will find it. All right. Let's get into prop talk. Let's start here, Chris. Actually, let's do our picks first.
Oh man. Okay. All right. We're doing picks first, huh? I'm a little.
There's only one
I know,
game.
I know. I was not ready for picks first. I was ready for prop talk first.
I'll
so
go first.
I just had to switch up my brain a bit.
I'll go first, and to give you all the transparency, Nate, Rashid Shaheed, he is out for the next 4 to 6 months. He wasn't going to play tonight anyway.
Yeah,
but
and Derek
he got
Carr's
that meniscus
doubtful
injury
tonight.
Yeah, he's not going to play tonight.
Yeah. So with that being said, I'm going with the Donkeys.
I've never heard him be called the Donkeys.
I'm going with the Denver Donkeys.
I like that. Double D's.
The double D.
Yeah, I'm going with the Donkeys.
I like it. I do want to go with the Broncos. I do kind of feel like they're the better overall team. I just kind of feel like the Saints are going to eke by. I do think that the Saints still have a little bit of what we saw from the first couple weeks in them. They still have Alvin Kamara out there. I think he's probably going to be the best player on the field on both sides of the offense today. I think I'm going to go Saints. I'm going to go Saints at home. I don't think it's going to be spectacular at all. I'm expecting both teams under 20 points in this one, but I'll go Saints.
I was expecting both Broncos from you guys, so this is kind of changed the way I want to both donkeys, excuse me, from you guys.
Thank you.
It's kind of changing the way I want to do my strategy for Week 7 in the NFL, but I'm gonna have to go Broncos as well. So that's me and you, Alan.
There you go. Well, I will keep the theme going. Look, guys, I really like this guy, but between the injuries and having to deal with Denver, I might regret this, but I'm actually going to go Spencer Rattler under 185 yards.
Ooh, but
yeah,
I love it. That's Thursday night though. Thursday night, young guy.
He is my guy. But, with Rashid Shaheed out, I know, the reason I don't want to do it is because it is at home. But the only way he gets it, you got to get Alvin Kamara more involved. And I just think the Broncos
banged up too.
Yeah, the Broncos are going to say Alvin Kamara's not beating us.
Yeah.
So, and I think there was question marks with Chris Olave. So I'm saying
Olave's not playing either.
Under 185. I just don't see where he gets it.
Yeah, I mean, it was really just one big second quarter for him, and besides that, it was pretty pedestrian performance from Spencer Rattler. I do think that you're right in the Saints' strategy is going to be Alvin Kamara, can you please win us the game? And for that reason, I'm going Alvin Kamara over 37.5 receiving yards. I think there's going to be a lot of dump offs to him. He's usually one of the better receiving backs in the league anyway, and it feels like with all the receivers that are out, they're really going to lean on him and really probably just set up a ton of screens, if I had to guess. And every dump off is probably going to go his way. And I think Foster Moreau might be their starting tight end these days too. So I'm expecting a big game out of Kamara, if anything, for the Saints. I'll take his over on 37.5 receiving.
Real quick, Chris Olave out.
Yeah.
The other starting receivers, Mason Tipton and Bub Means. Okay, the second string, Cedric Wilson, Equinemius St. Brown, and Jermaine Jackson. Chris, the starting tight end, Juwan Johnson.
Oh, okay.
For the Saints. Taysom Hill is doubtful with Foster Moreau behind.
That is
him.
brutal.
So, it's going to be the Alvin Kamara show.
Yeah, and even how long does that go for if he's banged up on a Thursday night?
I just think they're going to say you're not. And throw to Mason Tipton.
Yeah.
Please. Nate, did you give yours already?
Yes. Oh, no, he didn't.
No, I didn't. And I'm just going, this is just because of Bo Nix. I'm doing the all or nothing. Bo Nix labeled at half interception. So he throws one or he doesn't. I think he does. I'm taking the over on that. And that's just because rookie quarterback on the road Thursday night.
They got 3 out of Baker last week.
Yeah, really doesn't have a ton to say about the Saints defense. I know they got Baker. Yeah, that's great. But it's more, for me, it's more about Bo Nix and I'm not trying to trash Bo Nix after the Cowherd saga and Brock Purdy. It's nothing to do with that. I'm not angry about that. Bo Nix throws an interception tonight.
I'm also seeing here from the college basketball news, breaking news, I guess you could say. Tony Bennett, coach of Virginia, title-winning coach at Virginia, has stepped down. He is retiring effective immediately. College basketball season, I think, starts next week. I think it might be next week, actually, college basketball starts.
Yeah, I think it's
at least like the preseason.
Yeah.
I know like they just did the midnight.
Somebody
Madness
goes to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Whenever they add immediately, that makes me think something is wrong.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, whether it be, something in their personal life going unexpectedly wrong, or, I mean, sometimes these things can be scandals, whether it be, off the court or whether it be, NCAA violations. Usually if it's effective immediately, it's usually something out of the blue popped up.
To that point, November 4th is when the season starts. If you were going to, you talk about recruits and NIL, if you were going to retire, you just randomly retire a couple weeks or 3 weeks before the season starts. Interesting.
A little strange. Yeah.
We will keep an eye on that. Real quick for the Kings prop talk. DeMar DeRozan had 17 last game, guys. The only way he doesn't get to his 14.5 is if the Kings actually take care of business this time. So I'm going to go over on DeMar DeRozan 14.5.
Yeah, I'm going under on Fox 16.5. I just don't know how much they're going to play. Last year, the last preseason game, they barely played at all, if at all. And I don't think we've gotten word yet on how Mike Brown plans to approach this preseason game so far. I'm going to assume he's going to be more cautious than aggressive in these preseason games, especially since they finished the game in Utah the other night. I'm going to go under, and I would go under on probably all the Kings tonight.
Practice updates from the Niners, still in no contact jerseys. Jordan Mason and Debo with the wrist injury did not practice.
You said
today.
Jordan Mason didn't practice. Oh, okay. Well,
and no. He's in a no contact jersey.
Contact. Gotcha.
Yeah. Did not practice. Moody and Jawan Jennings. So
interesting.
There you have it. Crosstalk on the other side with Whitey Gleason. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
O'Reilly. Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Disturbed. Live. Oh, get up, come on, get down with the 25th anniversary of the 5-time platinum album, The Sickness. 2 sets, 1 show, The Sickness in its entirety, and greatest hits with special guests, Daughtry, and Nothing More. Friday, May 9th, Golden One Center. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Disturbed. Live.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Why choose Gonzalez Law Offices? Well, for criminal defense, expungements, sexual harassment, wrongful termination. The best thing you can do is to retain legal representation from an experienced defense attorney in Sacramento who helps you obtain the best possible results. At Gonzalez Law Offices, attorney Jonathan Gonzalez has remained undefeated from 2016 through 2019 for jury trials, and this year will be no exception. Contact him at 916-304-9187 or at saclegaldefense.com.
There's no better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, offering the best deals in town and a selection other dealers are jealous of. Stop on by. They're just off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Wanted to get to this earlier, and I'm curious, Whitey, your thoughts. And honestly, it's not even that hot of a take, but we discussed Russell Wilson and how Justin Fields, they did win games. They're 4-2, but he didn't shut the door on it. It wasn't, I have no choice, Russ. I can't start you. It just feels crazy because they are 4-2. Part of it is they probably should have beat that Cowboy team. That Cowboy team isn't very good. They could be 5-1. Justin Fields, when he was asked about it, he said, if I'm being real with myself, if I did play well enough, I don't think there would be any sort of question who should be playing, who should not. Bomani Jones, he went on to say, this is a big thing for everyone to remember. If you didn't make it undeniable, then it can be denied. And even if there's room for disagreement on who should start, his case wasn't undeniable. I applaud him for realizing this at his age. And honestly, it's not even a hot take, really. I do the same thing. And it feels like some of these guys, as Chris and I have kind of get off my lawn conversations, some of these guys, they do come off as if they have a level of privilege. And now we have 2 guys in Bryce Young, who I think he was pretty accountable in his situation, and now Justin Fields in his situation, and just at the very least saying the right things. And there have been guys that we've seen in the past who have not done that.
Right. Well, Bryce Young didn't have a choice, right? Really?
He did not.
What did he say?
No.
Yeah.
What
can he say?
Yeah, I didn't get. Well, I didn't get
here.
I didn't get enough chances, or what? There were a lot of people saying the Panthers haven't put him in a good position. Now, he can't say, to be fair, he can't say that, but he still did the right thing.
So what do you think of Bo Nix? How good is Bo Nix? Is he going to win tonight?
I think he is.
Well, you're a Spencer Rattler guy.
I am a Spencer Rattler guy, but I took his under tonight on yards. There's no Rashid Shaheed. There's no Chris Olave. It's just going to be the Alvin Kamara show, and I just don't think that's enough.
I don't feel like I've watched enough of Bo Nix to give a definite, but I have been unimpressed. I think he looks like a rookie quarterback right now in good and bad ways, for sure. I mean, I think the one thing that's a little bit concerning is he still does run a little bit more than I would want him to. I kind of like the quarterbacks to work through it. To me, when you run that a lot as a rookie quarterback, especially, it tells me you might be just doing a single read, maybe a second one, and then your option is just to kind of take off.
It's
I don't know.
taking the easy way out. Like,
pretty much.
I can't figure that out. I'm just going to tuck under it.
Yeah, exactly. Just be an athlete and take the 5 yards and go down. It's a bit concerning, but I do think that the fact that they've been able to win is definitely a good sign for him. I mean, He has not played them out of games. He hasn't been as bad as Will Levis or anything like that. So
But
I
it's
guess
weird because like last week for 3 quarters, he was terrible.
Yeah, right.
And in the fourth quarter, he was really
turned
good.
it on. Yeah, exactly. And he's still young. So I don't know what you take that as. I don't know if you take it as luck or if you take it as, look, that's the maturation of a quarterback. You want him to perform his best in the fourth quarter, and he did. But, they're 3-3. They found success. If they win today, I do think you start to hear questions about, hey, did we overlook Bo Nix? And, did we talk too much about him being a Brandon Weeden where, he's not actually good. He's just 5 years older than everybody else.
Yeah.
That play's going to be crazy tonight with Sean Payton.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
even
true.
factor that in.
It's
Wow.
gonna be
Does he get booed at all? He doesn't get booed. Does he?
No, how could you?
No, you
think
can't.
so.
And all the
And
Sean
Drew
Payton,
Brees is going to be there too for some jersey retirement
Why
or
not?
something. So yeah, it's going to be crazy.
It's funny because Sean Payton, when he had his analyst hat on before he got back into coaching, he talked a lot about how I need my if I'm taking a quarterback with a top pick, they need to be a certain size. They need to be this. They need to be that. When it comes to Bo Nix, we look at some of the other guys in the league and that got drafted, and obviously they went before Bo Nix, but the Caleb Williams and the Jaden Daniels of the world, I'm just not really sure who is the Bo Nix comp. My question to Sean Payton would be, who are you hoping that Bo Nix becomes? I mean, he's got a strong arm. Is he just
Allen? I don't know.
Right. He looked to me, he just comes off as a better Will Levis, who's just not very good. But I just don't really know what his calling card is.
So far, he's been not accurate, but he's just been so uneven. But I think there's been enough positive there where if you're a Bronco fan or if you're a member of the front office, there's enough there where you can feel like, hey, we may have something here.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, don't look. No, now it's good. Okay.
Yeah, and how much do you think? I mean, I always bring up you kind of bring the comparison of Kyle Shanahan, what he wants in quarterbacks with the rocket, someone who can fly a rocket versus versus kind of fly a plane. Do you where do you feel like Sean Payton falls in that kind of thought process of, do you think he likes somebody who, because I think him and Russell Wilson did not get along last year with how he likes to operate, and I think Drew Brees obviously is one of the best of his generation, and I don't know if we really know how much say was given on each side.
My impression of him is he likes to take shots. It's one of the things that he builds his reputation on in New Orleans. So I think he likes a quarterback who's going to take those downfield shots and take some risks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most famous example of that is the onside kick in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But, Drew Brees didn't have a big arm, but he took shots. And Russ last year, I think maybe he just kind of held on to the ball a little bit too long.
Yeah.
So I think he likes, and he was a quarterback.
Sean Payton was? I didn't know that. I did not know that.
I think he was one of the replacement players during the strike.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
So okay.
Yeah. So I think he likes he likes to roll the dice a little bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of kind of rolling the dice, Whitey, that's what's going to happen with the NBA lottery. And I don't know if you saw the news with Kawhi Leonard, and now with Kawhi Leonard out, Thunder have a pick swap. And if the Thunder or if the Clippers miss a play-in, Thunder could fall into another top pick, whether it's Cooper Flag or not. I mean, this is insane, man.
I know. I've never seen a team that is really good now, but at the same time has this stockpile of picks going forward.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Heard you guys talking about the Spurs, and to me, the Spurs tanking this year, and I know you guys weren't saying it would happen. Someone else was suggesting that. When you only have, a 14% chance of getting the top pick, even if you're one of the bottom teams, to me, it's like, that's not worth throwing a season away.
No, it's not like the NFL where that as bad as you are, you're going to get rewarded for your garbageness.
Right.
The NBA doesn't necessarily reward you the same way.
Yeah, well, because so many teams were like, okay, here we go. And they've been trying to figure out a way to prevent teams from doing that, and they're still struggling. There's still teams that go, yeah, we're tanking.
Speaking of garbageness, do the Kings finally get a preseason win tonight?
Oh, yeah. Wait. What's the garbageness?
Yeah, they don't have a win.
Preseason.
I'm just saying.
Preseason.
They tried their darndest against the Jazz. Their darndest, and they couldn't stop nothing.
You got to make some shots, right, Chris? Knock down a few.
It helps. I mean, it helps. And, there's no way we get Doug McDermott today, right?
I was wondering about that too. As far as I know, he's not.
Yeah, I wouldn't guess so. I mean, that would be less than a day of practice. I mean, it probably wouldn't even really be productive to throw him out there. But That would be the thing that I would look for today if he were to be playing. Obviously, that's kind of the most exciting thing. But yeah, I mean, they just don't shoot 25%. That's really, can you shoot in the 30s? Can you maybe
and don't let the
possibly
Clippers shoot 55% from three. Don't get destroyed at the 3-point line.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much the starters and on both sides play. I don't know if you saw already that Kawhi is going to be out indefinitely. I wonder if maybe the Clippers kind of put everybody in some bubble wrap and say, especially James, like now it's James Harden's show, which I think is probably not going to go great. He's definitely going to be chucking it up, but I just wonder how much the Clippers at this point are going to say, let's just get to the regular season. And who cares about how preseason goes, really?
Did you guys hear from a lot of fans yesterday who were kind of disappointed, not in Doug McDermott, but in that they didn't get a front court player? As we heard from a number of people.
Yeah.
Like, well, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people. I mean, it was, we're sitting here measuring in shoe, out of shoe. Oh, we're getting a 6'6" guy. We should have got somebody 6'9" and up, and they want that toughness. I mean, I do wonder. It's funny because of the idea of a player. They're both listed at 6'6", and I know they're not the same type of player. I do wonder how people would have received the Jay Crowder signing, because they are the same size, even though they don't play the same. But I do think people still feel like that same conversation we've had, that toughness factor. That's what the Kings are missing, regardless of how tall they are in shoes or not in shoes. So yeah, we did get a bit of that. I think a lot of people were happy with it because the Kings have been ice cold from three. But yeah, people still want that, whoever that player is.
Yeah,
he's not there.
I understand it. Yeah, but that's the thing, is just the guy that you're looking for isn't there. I think Robert Covington's about as close as you're going to get, and he's a couple years past his prime, or really past being usable in the league for a valued rotation piece.
He's like the milk, and you check the date and you open it and you smell it.
Yeah, no, that's bad. You don't even need to look at the date or anything. You just know it. It doesn't pass the smell test. I just, those long, tall, 3-point centric players are not available at this point in the season. And really, I mean, there's not many around them in the NBA. And if you do want them, everybody wants a 3-and-D guy. You're going to have to pay for them. And they're definitely not available a week before the season starts via free agency.
Well, the drive guys are available.
That's right.
Right now.
Ooh,
coming
full
up.
show, too.
Full show.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's right.
But it's Thursday.
That's right.
No, it doesn't matter
No,
now.
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter now.
Doesn't matter. Do it all.
You have to game night?
Do it all.
That's
game
right.
night, Scott Marsh, Henry Turner,
Mhm.
Jason Ross will be back.
All
Long
right.
day for him.
Wow.
Come
Keep
on.
it going.
Come
Keep it
on.
going. Getting me excited, ready to go. About to fire you guys up on the drive home. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Congrats to our winner. One more chance to win your Fright Fest tickets. That will be tomorrow at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. Thank you to the callers, texters, Sack Chatters. Thank you to Nate, doing great work as always. And until tomorrow, secure the bag. Can you for once light the beam?
You know how it goes down, man.